Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Outs here, and it's Thursday. We're doing a Thursday Think Tank, and it is a live call-in show, so you can call me at the number if you're a member of the channel or if you're in our private Facebook group. The number has been posted in there, and anyone in North America or Canada or even Mexico can call me, apparently, on my new phone plan for nothing, apparently. So that's the thing. So we're going to have the call-in show today, so if anybody wants to call in during our stream today, they're more than welcome to, and it's impromptu. It's just out of the blue. You can just call me out of the blue. Now, Trevor, don't call me from Portugal. But yeah, you can call me today. We're talking about the WNBA's team in Toronto once again. It came out yesterday that they're looking at the color schemes of all the other WNBA teams, and I figured that this is where they're at this point. They've been at the short list of names, and they've been discovering the universes of each of the short names, which to me is like 3 to 5 or 6 names that they're really fleshing out logos and schemes of what the whole look would look like with that team moniker and name and stuff. And they're in the point where maybe they have like it pretty fleshed out with the universes of the short list, and they're trying it in different color schemes. Because there was something that posted yesterday by WNBA Toronto saying color is defining aspect of a brand. Here are a few things the team is considering as we build our palette. Colors already used by teams in the league, yes, and they have all the teams already in the WNBA in their colors that they use on this post that I have here on Instagram. Associations or meanings tied to a particular color. Yes. I've got reasons for the colors I think we should do. And you know what? To be honest, there's quite a few people in the comments picking this exact same 3 colors that I want to see for this WNBA team. And that's a good sign that there's quite a popular swell for the 3 colors that I would like to see the WNBA Toronto team have. What they will look like on merchandise, such as jerseys and such. Yes, if they will pop on the court and in the broadcast, that's another thing. Yeah, I mean, I think the Raptors were very successful with their color choices early with their Naismith silver and their purple and their red. Yeah, I think that was very smart, the colors they picked, because this actually was achieved by the Toronto Raptors franchise when they came in, that they popped. They popped. So in some ways, the WNBA team's wanting to replicate that kind of effect. Primary versus secondary colors and how they work together as a family. What are your thoughts on colors? And as an extension of WNBA Toronto official IG account, I want to ask y'all today, what colors would you like to see the WNBA team for Toronto be for our new franchise coming out soon? I mean, we're going to announce all this stuff next month, guys. We're going to get to see the name of the team, the logo, and the colors next month. So this could be input. They want input from us all along on all kinds of different parts of this process. And well, let's do the next part. Let's talk about what colors should our WNBA team wear when they play. I want to. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? I have my own ideas. Of course, the name that I really like is the Toronto Triumph, and this was suggested by our great super fan Monique Lawrence, and I think that name is awesome. So what will be the colors that go with that? Or if you have a whole other name and color scheme that you think would be cool, write it in the chat or call me on the line. The hotline is open, and I'll take your answers for the color scheme and the name of the team today. The phone number can be found at the community tab for community members. And then also on our private Facebook group, the number is there also. Trevor is here. Commissioner of Fun, Trevor J, is on vacation in Portugal, but he's still taking the time to check in with us in the afternoon. I love to see it, Trevor. Let's see what he's saying. He's got a lot to say here right now. Trevor's saying, crazy how everything suddenly gets better once you focus on your life. I like that. You know, this is something that Tim Wall said is mind your own business. In some ways, this is a happier life. If you're really trying to keep tabs on your neighbors or people around you, coworkers, and kind of like that person bugs me because they do this and do that. Well, that's their life. And in some ways, why are you all up in their life? Why don't you let them live their life? Then maybe you won't be so having a problem with them if you just let them live. I'm like that. I'm trying to be like, you know what? I'm just going to worry about myself as far as taking care of my health and the things I need to do for myself to be okay. And in fact, speaking of health, Raptors official admin putting out just a little while ago. Today is National World Mental Health Day, guys. Reminding your mental health well-being matters just as much as your physical health. Today and everyday support is within reach. So yeah, it's okay to ask for support if you need it. Visit the Center for Addiction and Mental Health, CAMH, webpage for help and resources. There you go. Raptors have always been good about this, and they're using the purple color for this. Mental health is health. And that's true. Seriously. In fact, it may be some of the most important health in your life. Physical health is important too, but mental health can cause bad things for physical health if you don't take care of your mental health. That is true. That is very, very true. And there's lots of brain foods out there. There's so much processed food at the grocery store now. The more all natural, organic, and natural you eat, the better. There's so many chemicals and lab-made things that we buy at the grocery store, and these things do not help your mental health. I'm going to tell you that right now. They say you are what you eat. Well, don't eat crap, because then you will feel like crap if you do, because that's just the damn truth right there. Trevor's saying also Scotty and Darko's interviews were very impressive yesterday. I will agree on this. Both of them with very, 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 very good interviews. First, we'll talk about Scotty. Scotty came out, and once again, he is really, really media savvy at this point. He really knows how to control the media. In fact, he's so good, he can sidestep Grange getting a phone call in the middle of asking him a question with grace. Yeah, Grange, what the hell's wrong with you? Oh, I got a call real quick. He's on his phone. He's like, oh, sorry about that, Scotty. He's like in the middle of asking him a dumbass question, and his phone rings. So it's like, oh my gosh, Michael Grange, get professional here. Now, the biggest takeaway I had about Scotty Barnes in his interview yesterday, he's the boss now, y'all. I get major boss vibes from Scotty Barnes at this point, that in some ways he's taking this very seriously, and he is the guy. He is the guy. And in some ways, I got vibes from him that, like, you know what? Scotty was an all-star last year. Scotty is going to be very, very good this year also. And I think this year is going to be the year that he breaks out and he shows everybody he is all NBA and a face of this league. I think that Darko, when he said that last year in the press conference, when he's mad, he's saying that Scotty Barnes is a face of this league. Well, I think this year he's going to step into those shoes and show it, because there's something about Scotty that's a little bit different right now coming into this season. And it's in his interview yesterday. If you watch it, you'll see what I'm talking about. He's very, very confident, and he's very, very mature, and he's very, very boss man-like. Like he's the boss. And I'm telling you, this is the year Scott is going to do things on the court that are so good that whether it's going to be the stats as far as leading the Raptors in almost all stat categories like he did last year, whether it's going to be stuff like Vince Carter did when he came into the league and wowed the world with all of his athleticism and crazy plays. Scott's going to have plays like that this year. And it's going to be undeniable that he is an attractive face of the NBA, and they're going to have to put him on blast, because this year Scotty Barnes is going to do things in the NBA that's going to open eyes, and they cannot stop it. They cannot stop it. I'm saying it right now. I'm saying it right now. And I know a lot of people say this kind of stuff, but I mean it right now, because I saw that interview yesterday, and there's something different about Scotty. And it may be the baby. It may be the fact that he is the guy head and shoulders above as the leader of the team at this point, that he's taking this real seriously. He's talking about Mobo and helping Mobo. He's like, listen, Jonathan can come talk to me whenever he wants, and I'll help him with whatever it is. He's communicative. I think that in some ways, the fact that Scott is in charge and the team is showing such good unity, fun, and communication right now is no coincidence. That in some ways, the communication of a team on a basketball court is always really good as talking to each other and telling each other where each other should be and what's going on with the other team and what they're trying to do. And if we're talking way more this training camp and talking and helping each other with getting to the right spots and covering up our defense and doing everything like that, yeah, it's going to be shown in the way we play this year. Now, I don't know how much we're going to win, and I love what Scotty said. Scotty said, look, we're just coming to play, and in some ways, we're not worried about who we're playing. We're worried about ourselves. We're worried about getting better. We're worried about winning each play, winning each day, winning as far as getting better and developing. And some casuals may think that the win-loss column is the only way to gauge this, but that's not true. That's not true. Development is a weird thing, young NBA fans that don't understand it. And in some ways, y'all are going to see what it's all about in a development season, that it isn't necessarily all up to X's and O's and W's and L's, that it's going to be about getting better as young players, learning from your mistakes and getting better over time. Darko handled the same question really, really well. The Michael Grange coming in with his Debbie Downer. Oh, Darko, listen, the beginning of the season this year is really, really tough. I think in the first 25 games of the season, you guys play 23 playoff teams. How are you going to handle the grind of the beginning of the season with the tough records of the other team? Darko says, I'm not looking at the schedule. I don't know the schedule. I'm not looking at it at all. I only have today. There's only now, Grange. And nah, he ain't getting bogged down and looking at December, even in November. He's in October, motherfucker. And he's only looking at October. He's looking at what's in front of him. What's on the plate to eat right now, Joey Chestnut? That's what he's looking at right now. And he's going, those hot dogs. Yeah, in some ways you could get ahead of yourself. You could get real, oh, no, this is this and this. No, he didn't even look at the schedule. He said that yesterday. And in some ways, I respect that. Some people may say, what, the coach doesn't even know the schedule for the season? Yeah, he doesn't, because he's taking it day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute. And he's not getting ahead of himself. He sees what's on the plate next, and it's Washington tomorrow in Washington. And Scotty Barnes is confirmed to play in that game. Yeah. And in some ways, then he'll go on to the next game, and that'll be Boston on Sunday. Yeah. Taking it step by step, staying in the present. And Darko is harping this to the young Raptors also, to not get ahead of themselves and just go ahead and look at what's in front of you and handle it that way. In some ways, that's such an important thing to do this season, Darko. I'm so glad you're orienting this season just like that, because honestly, this season has some twists and turns. It has some crazy, weird juxtapositions of back-to-backs where you may get a little ahead of yourself and thinking about the second night of a back-to-back when you should be taking care of your food and eating the plate that's in front of you on the first night of the back-to-back. No, we have to stay as present as now, Eckhart Tolle. Because if we get ahead of ourselves, we start thinking about, oh, no, the first 2 months of the season are the strongest schedule for the Raptors out of anybody in the league. Nah, we don't get bogged down with that. We're going to take care of what we got right in front of us as we go. And those assistant coaches that are under Darko Rajakovic will properly scout and prepare our team for each step of the way. Yeah, maybe team logistics is looking at the whole schedule and figuring out, well, we got to fly and get all the equipment there, and we're going to do this on this back-to-back. And when we go on the West Coast trip in November, we got to do this and this. Maybe they're all getting ahead, but Darko ain't. No, he's not. This man is practicing the power of now, just like Eckhart Tolle wrote about. And this is where he's at. He said, listen, young players, we're going to practice the power of now and staying present. Staying in the present moment and not getting ahead of ourselves. Sure, you're going to see LeBron and Bronny real early in the season, but don't get ahead of yourself. You got to play the Cleveland Cavaliers first on opening night. So I love that. That philosophy is actually one that I use on this channel also. It's one that I use in my own life. There's no other thing that matters. There's no past. There's no future. There's only now. There's only now. And the more you live your own life in the now, the better your life will be. Don't be worried about the future. Oh, no, RJ Barrett's shoulder. Oh, no. And don't be worried about what happened in the past. Oh, no, DeAndre DeRozan screamed at us. Oh, no. No, stay present, and your life will be better and happier. I'm telling you, it's a big secret to living life right is the power of now. And Darko's a firm believer in this, and he made that very clear yesterday, that he ain't getting all chicken littling about the very difficult Toronto Raptors schedule for us in the first 2 months of the season. Nah. He said, bring it on. Bring it on. We'll take it step by step, day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute. That's right right there. Yeah, Trevor Jay's also saying that DeMar is a real one. DeMar DeRozan is the most realist Toronto Raptor in the history of Toronto Raptors. I'm going to declare this right now. Everybody who's writing stuff in comment section, you can't come to Toronto anymore because you're with Kendrick. Shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? DeMar is still Mr. I Am Toronto. He still is, and he always will be, and it's just cemented at this point. A beautiful, beautiful 25-minute interview with Kayla Gray of The Shift was posted on YouTube yesterday afternoon. And it's a lot of it's about the Above the Noise book. And I know we keep talking about this, but this interview was different because a lot of things were talked about that really cleared up the air with Toronto and DeMar DeRozan. Yeah, listen, this man, he can't quit us. He loves us. He loves his city. In fact, he understands legacy. He understands things, and he doesn't want to ever take away the work and the time he put in as a Toronto Raptor over his 9 years here and what he built, the culture he built with Kyle Lowry and Dwayne Casey and Jonas Valanciunas. You don't want to ever lose that because he earned it. He did that. He helped us get to our 2019 championship. And DeMar is, I'm telling you, he's such a real one. In some ways, he told Kayla Gray, I'm completely healed over what happened when I got traded by Masai to San Antonio. And I'll tell you, it was one of the craziest, disorienting things that has ever happened to me in my life. It was so beyond profoundly hurting me. I mean, you can't understand. Listen, the way he talked about how the pain from getting traded from the Raptors to the Spurs felt, it's like an abstract thing. You can't even put it into words. It's such an amazing, awful thing of pain. And in some ways, this man's so strong, so powerful that he can take that pain and instead of stewing on it for the rest of his life and being bitter, he can turn around and make it into something more powerful, like a book called Above the Noise, or just a being an example for everybody on a mental health day about how to turn something that's real ugly and make it into something bigger than you, bigger than what happened, and bigger in a statement. DeMar DeRozan was asked about Kayla Gray, about the possibility of, his jersey being retired in Toronto. He got very sentimental. He got very, very sentimental. And you know what? It would mean the world to him if we retire his jersey down the road, which we will. We know that number 10 deserves to go up in the rafters at Scotiabank Arena for 9 years of building winning culture with his friend Kyle Lowry. DeMar DeRozan's number 10 is going to be up there next to Vince at some point. We know that. And he said that it's right for Vince to go up there first. He said, okay with it. I would say at that moment, I said, no, DeMar, you should have been up there before him. You should have been up there before him. But you're going to play for a while still. And in some ways, we can't hold off retiring Vince's jersey anymore because Ed Rogers, Brooklyn, and the Hall of Fame and all that bullshit. But yeah, DeMar is going to get his jersey retired. It's going to be a beautiful thing. I can already tell because he's here for it. He wants it. And when we do it, it's going to be so much more authentic and beautiful and amazing than this sham of a jersey retirement we're going to do on November the 2nd this season. Oh, my gosh. What a powerful interview. DeMar, you were absolutely a real one. And, man, Toronto and DeMar, like this, still, and always were. In fact, he said, listen, even though they traded me, even though Masai did me like this, the fans in Toronto were always there for me, and they were always on my side, and it meant a lot. It got him through a lot. Messages from people like me saying, DeMar, I wouldn't have traded you. I wouldn't have done you like this. Meant so much to DeMar DeRozan, and it really, really did help him get through that period of time, knowing that his fan base in Toronto was still there for him, even if the team had traded him to San Antonio. Man, that's just powerful stuff. Healing is a powerful thing. And when you see such a great example of a healer, somebody who's so strong on his back, he can carry a team in an NBA game, but also he can carry the burdens of the world on his shoulders and be a smiling, great, well-adjusted family father man. Yeah, that's a role model right there, Charles Barkley. And that dude is badass. And you were right, Trevor. If there's ever been a real one for the Toronto Raptors, that name is DeMar DeRozan, and it always will be. That's right. Trevor's talking about last night, the Washington Wizards were playing the Knicks, and they got smacked around. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It ended up being a rout in the end. It was like 117 to 94 in the end, so they beat them by 23, about the same as we beat them on Sunday. Now, the Wizards were winning at the end of the first quarter, which was very interesting to me that they were up by 3 then, and they were kind of working them. But then the New York Knicks took over in the second quarter and absolutely blew them out. Kyle Kuzma with only 3 points, guys. So he's got 5 points so far in 2 games in preseason. Valanciunas, only 4 points. Yeah, the bench was really doing most of the stuff, like Keyshawn George, the rookie, and Corey Kispert were carrying their team for a while there. Jordan Poole, only 10 points. Alexander Sarr, 12. Yeah, it's going to be a very long season for the Wizards. As I said before, it's going to be Washington Generals season, and we're going to play them again tomorrow, and I'll have the preview tomorrow. I'll tell you all the stuff you need to know, the ref report, all the latest lineup news, everything you need to know about the Wizards game against the Raptors in DC tomorrow. Scotty Barnes returning to the court to play for the Raptors tomorrow night. That'll be fantastic fun. OG in this game had 5 points on 2 of 9 shooting. He was 0 for 4 from 3. 3 rebounds and 2 steals. He was a plus 22. So OG was all right. And Precious, 1 for 8, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, plus 11 with 2 points. So, yeah, our former Raptors not doing a whole lot. Cat was very kind of 7 for 20. He took a lot of shots. He did get a double-double, 25 and 12. And him and Brunson were really the best players on the court. The only 2 players with 20 points in this game last night in New York. Yeah. The Knicks fans are excited. Well, the Wizards suck. And in some ways, I'd say the same thing to Raptors fans. It's like temporary expectations from getting wins over the Wizards. Let's just say that right now. We got to play the Celtics after this, and that'll be probably a better gauge for where we're at with things. Yeah. But yeah, Wizards get smacked around for the second time in the preseason last night to the Knicks. Well, we're going to go see them at their home court tomorrow night. I'll have the preview tomorrow. Trevor's saying, thank God Hurricane Milton did not do too much damage. I don't know if that's true, Trevor. Now, I've heard the initial casualty count is not that bad, which is good. That's a good thing. In some ways, that's the damage we're worried about the most, is the human lives. And so far, I've only heard like maybe there's been like 4 confirmed deaths from Milton, but there's probably way, way more that they're just going to find down the road. But man, some of the footage of the storm surge and 15 feet high water in some of the areas it hit is crazy. Like literally picking up people's houses and taking them down the street. That kind of stuff going on down there. So I'm pretty sure the damage is pretty bad, Trevor. It's a lot worse than you think, but at least maybe hopefully the human damage is not. So hopefully people listened to their authorities and took off and went to higher ground or found other places to go to that were safer. And once again, this is not the only dangerous part. Is it's not just a storm. It's coming back and recovering things with downed power lines and water everywhere. And also, you got to understand when the hurricane comes through, it kicks up all the sewage. And there's a lot of nasty stuff in the water that you can get sick from, too. So it's not just a storm. It's afterwards. They've got to help these people. A lot of people aren't going to have any power. You know, in some ways, they got to look out for live wires. And they've also got to look out for E. coli and crazy-ass bacteria in the water, too, from everything getting stirred up like a big toilet bowl all over the everywhere. Yeah, so this is part of it. The storm has passed, thank God, and it's past the panhandle of Florida and out in the Atlantic Ocean, a Category 1 now. But still, they got to pick up the pieces, and even in the picking up pieces part of hurricanes, it can be very, very dangerous. Trust me. Yeah, very, very dangerous. Trevor's saying, I watched all the NBA highlights earlier today. Victor looks scary with Chris Paul. Yeah, I could have told you this was going to happen. Let's think about Chris Paul's career. He's played with a lot of big men. He played with Anthony Davis early on in New Orleans. He played with Blake Griffin and Clippers for a while there too. Yeah, there's some lob threats he's had over the years that are absolutely nasty, and Victor is one of them. And this is the thing. Chris Paul don't take no mess. They just did the GM's poll for the NBA, and Chris Paul was number 1 for most likely to become a coach after his NBA career, because this man's already been a coach his whole entire career. He can't help it. In fact, if you watch the series clipped, you will see him in there like being a very pushy leader on the team, to the point where the other Clippers are like, man, Chris has got to chill out, man. He just keeps telling us what to do all the time. But that's who he is. That's who he is. And that's why he hasn't worked in certain places, because he's got a different ethic of standard of work. And sometimes he goes to lazy places and he's like, man, these guys aren't serious here. I got to get out of here. You know, in some ways, this will be really, really good for the young Spurs team, and especially having Coach Popovich as a coach still. You know, him and Chris Paul will be a great leadership combo for that team in San Antonio this year. In fact, I'm telling you, that leap that they should have made last year with getting Wembanyama as the number 1 pick will probably happen this year. The win total that jumps up for the Spurs, just like when they drafted Tim Duncan, just like when they drafted David Robinson way back in the day, is going to go boop and jump up. There's going to be a big jump up. And it'll be because Chris Paul unlocks the big Frenchman. And that'll be very, very interesting to see. In some ways, I'm a Spurs fan. I'm here for it. I'm a big Chris Paul fan. I don't mind his hard nose being a tough guy. In some ways, this is who Fred is also. And in some ways, maybe this is why there's Fred haters out here. No, I like the tough point guard that cares enough to yell at his guys and make sure they're holding a certain standard on their team. And that's who that mold of point guard is in Chris Paul and Fred VanVleet. That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, they asked Scotty yesterday in the interview about comparing Jamal Shed to Fred VanVleet. And Scotty was, these guys are actually very similar leaders. All right, we got a first phone call today. Let's see who it is today, guys. Let's see who we got. Hang on, let me put it on speaker. Caller, you're on the air. Welcome to the Thursday Think Tank.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Sam. It's Fiercey.
Hello, Fiercey. MJ calling in from Ottawa region.
Yes, I am.
And
What's up?
You're not in a business meeting today. That's so great. You could be here live.
I have one at 10:30.
10:30.
But I'm like, let me snuck in a phone call quickly. In regards to the today's topic.
Yeah.
So I was doing some research and I was looking for which color represents resilience. So I saw brown and I'm like, I don't like brown. But anyhow, I don't like brown, but because all the other colors, I was looking at the other teams, all the colors are taken. So it would be hard at this point to find a different one, but there's not that many teams that have brown. So I was looking what color blocks well with brown.
Yeah.
And it says greens, there's blues, there's beige.
Yeah.
And there's also mustard and orange. So I think it needs to not be like the Raptors one, no red and black or white.
I agree with that.
Brown would be nice, but just finding a color that complements the brown, and that I think that would be pretty tricky.
Now
everything else is taken.
There's so many different shades of brown. Like you could talk about tan, you could talk about like more like mahogany or kind of like, there's so many different shades of brown that in some ways the different ones will really pop with different other colors.
And I think it says brown and purple would be nice, would look nice.
That would be interesting.
Depends of the shade, the brown shade that they choose. If they do choose brown, but that would be my option.
I think
everything else is taken.
I think you're right, because I'm looking at the thing that the WNBA Toronto posted yesterday, and there isn't any kind of shade of brown in there in any kind of way. But it honestly is kind of an opportunity to distinguish yourself with something that would, but it's really got to be done really, really well. And I would think that this has to be like maybe like a designer that really understands color matching would have to do. No AI for sure. Yeah, but definitely like a interior designer or some sort of graphic designer that understands what colors pop with each other naturally. I'm not against the idea of some sort of shade of brown. I think that you're exactly right, that there's nobody in the league. I'm looking at it right here, and there's really isn't any kind of that color. Now, there's a couple of oranges in teams, Connecticut and Phoenix.
Yes.
But there's and then I know that a lot of people are going to probably bring up the Raptor colors as far as things, but I don't think that we will want to be like the Raptors in any kind of way with the WNBA team.
No, because red represents passion, but Raptors has red. Green represents new beginnings, but there's Seattle Storm,
right?
That have green. Blue represents trust and strength, but you have the Dallas Wings that have blue. There's Minnesota Lynx, even Liberty, the Mystics, Washington Mystics.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the logos now. Oh, Chicago Sky has blue. So practically all colors are taken.
Yeah. So it's really kind of like finding the unique color combination that isn't there. Because like even the purple is really only with the Sparks, right? I mean that color for the Valkyries is kind of pink or like lavender to me. So I think that we could maybe get away with doing purple with the new team, but I'd have to be like a very different look, and I don't think red would be the right one to go with the purple here. Obviously.
No, because those are two cold colors, so you need a hot to complement the warm color, complementing the hot color. Well,
I love this
design talk, but
no, this is perfect. You sound like the perfect person to call today, MJ. as far as your design sensibility is really on point, and you're really talking about stuff like what a designer would like really think about, like warm and cold colors. This is awesome. So
So that's my take on it, Sam. I gotta go.
okay. Yeah, you do have a meeting very soon, Fiercey, and I really appreciate you calling today. Oh, you're awesome, MJ. Thanks for calling and giving us your two
Thank
cents.
you. Have a nice day,
Have a
everyone.
great
Bye.
weekend, and thank you so much for watching the channel all the time. You're the best, MJ.
Awesome. Always.
Let's
Thank you.
go, WNBA
Bye.
Toronto.
Yay.
Let's go. Awesome. So cool to have our first call today from MJ calling from the nation's capital, Ottawa. She thinks that brown could be utilized in some sort of way because it's really not been utilized. Now, I know some people would say, like she said, oh, brown's not necessarily the best color, but you can really find a really, really sophisticated or a nice brown with a nice color juxtaposition with something else. And it could be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. I thought that was such a cool idea. Honestly, thank you, Fiercey, once again for calling in. Such a good idea. Now, personally, I was kind of with Monique on this, and she had decided the three colors she liked for the whole concept of the Toronto Triumph would be red and white because of our flag with the color gold. And there's a lot of people in the comment section on this color scheme post that WNBA Toronto put out that are writing in this actually as as what they kind of are interested in. I mean, I could read some of the comments of what they're saying in here about what they want. Let's see. Somebody wants the original Raptors colors. I don't know. Somebody here said red, white, and gold, which is what I'm saying. Colors for winning in Canada. There you go. Somebody's saying would love it to be anything but the red, white, and purple. So a lot of people are saying they don't want to see Raptors colors on this WNBA team. And I mean, that's a big part of like, you don't want to be like, if you want to pop and make your own identity, you cannot follow what's already been done. And in some ways, if they do the same kind of color scheme as the Raptors' original color scheme, or even at their current color scheme, you're not going to distinguish yourself. So I think that this is very, very important to Teresa Resch and the WNBA Toronto team as far as distinguish themselves, because a lot of people are putting purple and red in here. There's another red, white, and gold right there. So I see it twice here. There's purple, red, or black and gold. Yeah, those are Raptors combinations there. Let's see. Two colors, less is more. One color and black. So somebody's saying that it should be one color and black. I mean, the Aces are kind of like black and white with theirs, and the Valkyries are black and lavender right now. Liberty, black and aqua. Although there's some orange in the Liberty from way back. There is orange in their colors, like the Knicks from back in the day. Yeah, so red, purple, and black is still on the table. See, I don't think so. Probably not, though. Probably not. I'm really believing that Teresa Resch is probably going to want to go with something that's totally never been seen in sports in some sort of way. We could think about some of the weird color schemes. Like, let's think about Charlotte Hornets right now. They're like teal and purple, and there have been really ugly jerseys from them, but they have a very distinguishable color scheme that's kind of like associated with the 90s that cup, the black and the blue and the purple kind of cup. You know what I'm talking about, that 90s look. So, that could be part of it too, is like, if you get the right color combination, it could harken to a time period. It could harken to all kinds of stuff. You have to be very cognizant of what do these color combinations have in their past history, because they may elicit people to connect old things to them. Because, oh, this is the colors. I remember that's from that candy bar I used to eat when I was a kid, was these colors or something like that. You got to be thinking about all that kind of stuff. This is a very important process, what Teresa Resch and the WNBA Toronto team is doing, because it's going to establish something for a long time. And we see how important John Bateau Group and the designers that did the Raptors stuff early on has echoed out throughout the history of the Raptors. In some ways, some of this stuff has been abandoned. Some of this stuff is very different, but the old motifs and styles of the original Raptors are still nostalgic, and there's still something that, people associate with the team very heavily. So this is all so important to get it right in the first place. In some ways, if you're doing a rebrand of your colors and your logo and your team too early in your history, that's not a good thing. That means you probably didn't do a good job in setting it all up in the first place. Yeah, very, very cool. Very, very cool. If anybody else wants to call in and give me your ideas on what you think the colors should be for the WNBA team in Toronto, you call and let me know. Carlo JS is putting prayers up for Florida. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to get on Facebook this afternoon and check on all my friends that live in Central Florida, and hopefully they've marked themselves safe and hopefully everything's good. That's something that's actually pretty good about Zuckerberg's Facebook, is this whole mark myself safe from Hurricane Milton is very helpful, because in some ways you can find out, well, oh, thank goodness they're all right, without, in some ways they can let everybody know real easy. Good morning to you, Carlo, and everyone. Good morning to you and Santino. I hope everybody's having a great morning this morning on Thursday. Thursday Think Tank, baby. Let's go. Shaq Lindsay's in the house. The infamous Shaq Lindsay. We love Shaq Lindsay. He's a longtime Raptor freak, and I always enjoy him being in the chat. Can we talk New York? I hate seeing OG roll to being just another big wing on their team. Love OG, but Masai is a genius getting RJ in quickly. What a fleece. Shaq Lindsay, you're speaking a song that I love to hear. And in some ways, look, we know OG is growing as a player in some ways on offense, but I don't know if New York will ever allow him to actually flourish like he might have here. And that's the sad thing about this whole situation. In some ways, OG was ready to leave Toronto. I don't think that he actually was going to be part of the long-term plans. There were a lot of signs with things in different ways. But in some ways, it's sad. Like, if he did have aspirations to become a more complete offensive player, he's not going to get it in New York. He's not going to get it in New York. Now, the trade-off is he may be competing for championships because of that. So I still don't believe Jake Fisher's report from a couple years ago. We said that OG was unhappy with his role on the Raptors and that he wasn't getting enough offensive stuff. Because, man, I'm telling you, the last 2 years that OG was on the Raptors, he got all the offensive things he wanted to do, honestly, within reason. It's crazy. Some people just have an unrealistic idea about what you can do on a basketball court in 48 minutes with the whole team and how many possessions they are and all this stuff. They think that, oh, this person's a ball hogger, this person's a ball hogger, this is this. No, sometimes the games are decided not by the coach and the plans, but what is opportunity and chance of happening at the very instant moment in the game. And I don't get why people don't understand that. Some people need to go out and play basketball more to understand how basketball works sometimes, I think. I think that there's a lot of people that are opining on basketball that never actually played basketball at any kind of level where they understand what the fuck they're talking about. And I may be somewhere on that scale, seriously. I mean, to an extent, I do know what I'm talking about, but also the same, I do not understand at the NBA level, obviously. I mean, it's crazy. Let's see. And I agree, it was a fleece, and it'll be more evident as Emmanuel quickly becomes an all-star and RJ Barrett is the most improved player. Right. Both those guys are getting a lot of consideration for most improved player candidacy this year. That a lot of people are thinking, you know what? The most improved player could be either RJ or Emmanuel this year, because they both are likely candidates. They could likely do it. Seymour saying Buddy Hield went off last night. 6 threes. Anyways, can't wait for our next game. I believe in Grady. He is him. All right, here we go. We got our next call, everybody. Let's see who we got this time. Caller, you're on the air. Hey. Oh, who is this? This is Adriana, y'all. Adriana's calling in the show to give us her 2 cents on the WNBA team colors. Adriana, I love you. And wow, it means so much to me that you're calling into the Thursday Think Tank this morning.
Yes, so I have homework to do, so I can't stay for long.
Okay.
But I will say, at first I was very adamant about, it should be like the Raptors colors. But I'm actually kind of liking the red, gold, and white. However, I feel like it still should be connected to Raptors in some way, shape, or form.
Okay. Now, how do you think they would do that? Maybe with the name, or maybe just maybe there's a little nod somewhere with it where they do acknowledge the NBA team that is their city mate in the city.
Yes.
So how do you think maybe they do that? Maybe they do add one color that's from the Raptors scheme, but they have different color schemes around it so that it is very unique and different, but there is like a connection with one particular color. And let me guess which one you would think that they need to connect between the two teams.
You know what color I love?
That's right. She loves the color purple. She if there's anybody who has purple fever, it's Adriana. Trust me. And it's partly because purple is the color of the Epilepsy Association here in Toronto, and they do their yearly purple walk to raise funds for Epilepsy Foundation here in Toronto. And yeah, I think that purple would be a nice color to be involved with the WNBA team. Once again, people have said many times in recent months that purple reflects royalty and regality, and there's certain stuff that comes across with the color purple. So do you think that that could be the color that could be tying the bind between the WNBA team and the Toronto Raptors?
Yes, I feel like it could be.
It could be, yeah. I know you're a big proponent for purple, 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 everything. I mean, she loves purple shoes, purple sweatshirts, purple everything. It's the best. Her glasses are purple. So you're amazing, Adriana. I love you, and I just want to tell you that on a Thursday. Thank you for calling into my show. I know you're busy with your schoolwork and everything else in your life right now, but it really does mean a lot to me that you took the time to just call me real quick.
Yes, and purple does rock. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. All right. Short and sweet. And honestly, you are awesome. Thank you so much, Adriana. She's putting her 2 cents in. And obviously, she's going to have a vote for purple, but she doesn't mind the red, white, and gold idea. I think that would be cool.
Actually,
go ahead.
Yeah, I think that'd be actually really cool. I never even thought about red, white, and gold.
So. Well, look, think about it this way. What if they're like red and white jerseys mostly, but they have like a gold trim to them or some sort of like gold around the lettering? Or maybe the letters are gold on red and white. I think that that's what it would be. It's like maybe the primary colors. Now, maybe they don't want to be so Canada that it's so red and white. In some ways, that'll help them market for the whole entire country to have the red and white. But I feel like there needs to be a third color. They can't just be red and white because that's kind of, in some ways, I'm also looking at the other teams that are already out there. And nobody really does have just red and white, though. So it could be done. If they did really want to go very nationalistic and do like red and white, it wouldn't be a big deal. So, all right. Any more to say, Adriana, before I let you go?
No, just happy Thursday. Hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's so sweet of you. Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family also, Adriana. I miss you. And have a great Thursday. I know you're going to kick butt on all your schoolwork and get good grades at your in your class this semester.
Let's hope so. Anyway, miss you, love you too.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, Adriana. All right. Wow, we had Adriana call today, guys. That is out of the blue and very cool. Yeah, of course, I knew as soon as she was going to call, she's going to say something about purple. She loves purple, and she's very happy that the Raptors are going retro this season with a lot of purple jersey games and stuff like that. Very, very cool. Very, very, very cool. Very, very cool. So Seymour's saying that Buddy Hield went off last night with 6 threes. He can't wait for our next game. He believes in Grady. He is him. Well, let's see Grady get 6 threes in a game. How about that, Sheriff Seymour? That would be fun. I want to see a game where Grady breaks the record for how many threes anybody's gotten in a Raptors game. I believe that's Donyell Marshall, and it's around like 13. He got 13 threes in one game once or something, 12 or 13. Well, Grady, go out there and get 15 threes in a game some point. What is that? That's like, holy crap, that's like 45 points. Yeah, Grady, go out and like get 50 points on almost all threes. That'd be amazing. I'd be all about that. Nins is here. Good to see Nins returning to the chat. Raptor Freak Nins, always good to see you check in. Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Good morning to you. Y'all, if you are a member like Nins, you can go to the community tab and call the number and you'll get in through the show, just like Adriana and Fiercey just did. And you guys can give me your opinions on what you think about the color scheme for what our WNBA Toronto team should be like. I'm helping to do the field research for you, Teresa Resch, getting you some real voices from real Raptors fans and real basketball fans around Canada, and getting some good feedback for you so you can hear it straight from their mouths there. Good morning to you, Seymour. Brian's here. What's up, Freak Nation? Happy Scotty is coming back on Friday and showing composure during the interview. LeBron should learn from him and take a damn plane to Milwaukee. This is hilarious. Brian has brought up, first of all, to the point, T.O. the point. YouTube channel, fantastic stuff. Great stuff on Vince this week, Brian, for sure. But yeah, LeBron's an idiot. Like, this really does show, like, all right, there's 2 things about LeBron's tweet yesterday that really bugged me. Really, really bugged me. Yesterday, LeBron said, Why the hell do we have to fly all the way to Milwaukee and back for just one preseason game? This is the guy who's supposed to be the figurehead leader of the league, the face of the league, and he sounds lazy as fuck. Maybe, LeBron, you're playing too long in your career that you're complaining about that. Are you too good to fly to Milwaukee to play in a preseason game? What about those fans that are going to come there just to see you? You have LeBron fans in Milwaukee, and they may want to see you. I'm surprised you're going, honestly. Why don't you just make up an excuse? You can do whatever you want with the Lakers and just say, I can't go to the Milwaukee game, guys. I'm staying here. But you went. You went, and you're complaining about it on Twitter, and you're getting roasted. You're getting roasted. All in the comments section. People are saying, well, LeBron, if you drive, it's going to take so long. So, yeah, you have to fly to go to Milwaukee. You know, in some ways, he's an idiot. In some ways, it's two things. He's the figurehead, supposed to be the greatest player of all time, and he's complaining about going to a preseason game. Like people said in those comments, Michael would never do that. Michael would never do that. And then second, he's epitomizing the problem with the NBA players today. They're lazy, and they don't want to do what they're supposed to do for the job that they get paid so much money to do. Like, this is the dude who's the figurehead that everybody looks up to, the greatest ever, and he's complaining about having to fly to Milwaukee on a plane for a preseason game. Your team set that up, LeBron. Go talk to Rob Pelinka. It's just like they said, every preseason schedule for every team is set up like college teams set up their college football schedule. They say, oh, yeah, we'll play you on this date. We'll come see you. They arrange it all that way. We made arrangements with the Celtics to play them twice. We made arrangements with the Wizards to play them twice. And we made arrangements to play Jordy Fernandez and the Brooklyn Nets once in the preseason. So, you know, your team made these arrangements for you to go to Milwaukee, bro. Like, what is it? Maybe you need to retire now. If you're too tired to get on a plane and fly to Milwaukee and play in a preseason game against Giannis and the Bucks. It's just, dude, don't tweet this kind of shit. It's not good for the league. You make the league look bad because you're supposed to be the epitome of the top of it. And you're whining and crying about flying to Milwaukee in a preseason. I'm really disappointed in this. Bryce, I know you love LeBron, but this is not a good look. This is not a good look. And it's amazing how he got roasted in those comment section underneath his tweet. He got roasted by that weird simpleton guy, Greg, who writes really funny comments to everybody on their tweets. Yeah, LeBron, if you drove there in the bus, it would take you like a week. You know, it's hilarious. Hilarious. I don't know what's wrong with him, Brian. I don't know why LeBron has to complain about this. You arranged to have a home and home with the Bucks. The Bucks can come to LA. They're going to fly and see you there. You got to go fly and see them in Milwaukee. Maybe tell Rob Pelinka next time, I don't want to play any Eastern teams in the preseason. Let's just stay out here on the West Coast. Either way, the tweet looks bad, LeBron. Either way. Nameless is saying, reporting live from Bay Street from a condo stock cleaning procedure. Okay, Nameless is on the job. My paisano, the plumber, downtown, friends with Mario and Luigi. He's on Bay Street at a condo, and he's stack cleaning, a stack cleaning procedure. I'm not sure what that means. Stack cleaning. Does that mean you take everything in the apartment and stack it in one big pile and then clean the whole apartment and then unstack it out of there? I don't know. Nameless, always good to see you, my paisano. My paisano. You have the number. You're a member. I see you there. Go to the community tab and call me and give me an update on the stack cleaning. I need to know what's going on. Fiercey saying good morning and happy Thursday. We heard from her in the voice. It was very nice. Shaq Lindsay, you got access to the number also, seeing as you're a member of the channel. The women's team should be called the Tyrannosaurus Rex. The Tyrannosaurus Rex. You know, T-Rexes, Tritops, Pterodactyls, dinosaurs. It's not going to happen. Dinosaurs are for raptors. And this team is not owned by MLSE, Ed Rogers. This team is owned by Kilmer Group and Larry Tenenbaum. And in some ways, they are under no obligation to tie our teams together with any kind of motif. And Chicago Sky, Chicago Bulls are a good example of how this coexists in the WNBA already. The Sky have nothing to do with the Bulls. They have totally separate owners. And and they don't have any ties like color-wise or with their whole nickname or anything. This is what's going to happen in Toronto, just so you know, Shaq Lindsay. We're not going to be tied to the Toronto Raptors with our WNBA team. They're going to come up with a whole other kind of idea for it. And you know what they could do, and this could be very interesting, and they probably did think about this. You know how the Raptors are loosely named after Jurassic Park. Maybe what Teresa Resch and the WNBA people need to do for the Toronto team is think about what's popular right now. This timeless that could be like that, and let's get something from the movies now that would kind of echo that, harken that kind of same pattern of creative process. As far as the Raptors being named the Raptors, partly because of the Jurassic Park movie phenomena of the early 90s. What would be that equivalent right now, as far as something that's really, really hip and popular among young women and young men, young people? And what could get that same kind of effect, kind of like the Raptors going with Jurassic Park for the WNBA team? Is it another kind of movie that's out right now that's really popular with the kids? Are we? Somebody said the Minions. Should we be the Toronto Minions? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Toronto Minions. That's not the best nickname for that. Shaq Lindsay says purple and gold should be their colors. Well, that would be too similar to the Los Angeles Sparks and the Lakers. The LA colors are purple and gold, and that's already taken. That was worn by Lisa Leslie at the very beginning of the WNBA's history. So that's not likely. The purple will not be paired with gold. That's too proprietary for the city of Los Angeles. Nako says he likes black and red. Name them the Toronto Towers. Toronto Towers. Yeah, we talked about the Towers name recently and how it's not on the table. It's not on the short list. And partly it's because of 9/11 and the weight that the word towers has from the Twin Towers falling in 2001. And then also, the the CN Tower, sure, is a logical thing to kind of allude to for the team being tall and all that kind of stuff. It was on the short list for the Raptors when we went through the process way back in '94, the same that we're going through with the WNBA team right now. But it's already been ixnayed. There's no possibility that they will be called the Toronto Towers because they've already come out and said they've rejected that name. Black and red is the Raptors colors. And in some ways, once again, we got to say they got to distinguish themselves, Gerald. I thank you for being here, Gerald, my good friend in Mississauga. Nako the Nacho. That's right. That's my guy, man. You got to come out here. Seriously, Nako. I want to talk to you, get you to come out and see the new place out here. Andrew saying, let's go. Can't wait to watch Scotty hoop again. Feels like it's been forever. It has been forever. And Scotty has said it too. In some ways, look, when Scotty did his interview yesterday and he was asked about getting to play basketball again, he got a little giddy. He got a little excited. We know Scott loves the sport of basketball. In fact, I was pushing very early on in his rookie year that we should nickname him Scotty Basketball because this kid eats, breathes, and sleeps basketball. You think he gets sick of basketball, but no, all offseason, he's trying to get in pickup games and he's playing a lot of 2K. So Scotty is like a basketball junkie. And the fact that he ain't been able to play in a long time is bugged him and he's ready to get back. And in some ways, he said, he's like, playing pickup games and doing stuff with the team and practice is great, but nothing beats game time kind of feel, like NBA in the game kind of feeling. And as a 3-year vet going into his 4th year this year, he knows the NBA game a lot more than he did when he came in as a rookie. So in some ways, this is part of the maturing and the aging of an NBA player is to understand the league more and more and building and expanding your presence and your powers in that league. And that's what Scotty needs to do this year. He needs to expand his powers in this league by being dominant on both ends, by taking over games, by winning with big shots and also big blocks. And we're excited about this. And I am too, Andrew. Tomorrow we'll get to see number 4 return to the court in a Raptors jersey. It's been too long. It's been way too long. It's been 7 months, guys. It's been 7 months since we've seen Scotty play, and we're ready for it. We are all ready for it, and so is he. So is he. That's right. Randolph saying, blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. Having and exercising faith is a key to life success. Whatever your plans and dreams are, walk by faith, not by sight. Boom goes like dynamite. I love this. Even if things are dark, have faith and just believe. In some ways, listen, we predetermine our futures by thinking what we're going to be and what's going to happen. We can really shape it just by our mindsets. So have an open, abundant mindset to allow for anything to happen. because if you really want to write a bad chapter for your story, you might get it. So really, really think about your self-talk, think about your self-belief, and find that faith. And if you need your higher power, if you need the Lord, if you need the Lord above, which a lot of people, that is the best way, then you can find your faith through the tough times and just keep believing. Just don't stop believing, like Journey's saying. Seriously, you will get what you want. And if you are really thinking you're going to sewer out and have bad things happen, you might. So don't think that way. Think the best and have faith. I appreciate you, Randolph, so much. Blessings to you, the Phillips family, and all the Raptor Freaks family. Leo Routen's words of wisdom from yesterday: your life is as good as your mindset. That kind of goes along with what I was just saying. You know, if you want to have a perception that everything sucks, and in some ways it does seem like everything sucks in the world right now, well, that's maybe in the external outside world all around you, all over the place. There's going to be conflicts. There's going to be awful things happening. But in your own world, if you have the mindset that things are nice and you make your own little niche in your corner of the world nice, well, you can have a good mindset and believe in good and good things happening. So control what you can is what I would say. Yeah, Cass is saying, good morning, Lex and Raptor Freak family. Good morning to you, Cass. 29 on the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. He's got that spray paint out. Nago saying, we're facing the Celtics early. Stinky Pinky is out. I think we'd have a good chance of getting the W. Well, we're playing them in the preseason 2 games, Gerald, starting Sunday. Yeah, we'll play the Celtics on Sunday in Boston, and then we'll turn around and play them here at Scotiabank Arena on the 15th. So it's a back-to-back home and home with the Celtics, the current NBA champions. And they've won 2 games in Abu Dhabi already in preseason against the Denver Nuggets. And, well, this is a good test. I said this already in the last week. I'd like to see the Raptors and Darko get 1 W out of the 2. If we can get both of them, that's great. But if we could beat the Celtics, the current champions, in the preseason in one of those games, it'll be a real confidence boost, guys. And in some ways, I'm here for it. So I'm predicting that we will catch them sleeping in one of these games, and hopefully we'll be 500 with them in the preseason. Some people are probably looking at us on the Celtics side, and they're like, yeah, easy dubs. And they may be getting ahead of themselves. And this may be an action a lot of other teams are going to take with the Raptors this year, where they're just going to be like, yeah, the Raptors going to be easy. Let's overlook them. Let's get ahead of ourselves. Yeah. No, I think we're going to shock them. And if we can beat the Celtics in one of the 2 preseason games, even if these games don't matter, that is a really good confidence boost for a young core to say, yeah, we beat the Celtics, the champions, in the preseason. We did beat them. So, yeah, we got to see Nako Sunday and Tuesday next week. That's right. Shaq Lindsay is saying there is no pressure to win this year. It's all about development. Our main players are young. We have flexibility in draft picks. Boom goes a dynamite. Shaq Lindsay is just speaking the gospel. He's exactly right. This is exactly right. We've got time to figure it out. These other teams have all kinds of pressure on them. I would say the other 3 Atlantic Division teams that are championship contenders have so much pressure on them right now. The Sixers, the Knicks, and the Celtics. In some ways, the Celtics don't as much because they won last year. But in some ways, they're like the favorite to repeat in everybody's eyes. So that's a different kind of pressure in some ways. So, yeah, there's no pressure on us because everybody expects us to be bad and lose. So anything we do and accomplish is going to be a great surprise, and it's going to be fantastic. I'm all about it. Fiercely saying WNBA finals start tonight. Let's go Liberty. There you go. New York versus Minnesota in the WNBA finals 2024. Yeah, who's going to be in the WNBA finals in the years to come down the road? Hopefully Toronto. And I'll be here covering it just like I cover the Raptors. When the WNBA team comes to Toronto, I will be covering that team just as extensively as I do the Toronto Raptors right now. So I'm very excited about going year round and how I cover the basketball teams, because WNBA season runs right into the NBA season. And there's going to be always basketball to talk about once that starts. It's going to be so fun. Let's go WNBA finals and get some good viewership ratings. Yeah, that's what I'm all about there. Yeah, Shaq saying most of these teams are capped out for the next 2 years. Yeah, a lot of teams are learning the new apron system, and maybe they're doing a little finagling and doing some weird stuff like Leon Rose in New York Knicks. But there's a lot of stuff that's making it not as ability to do so many things like they could just a couple years ago. So it's very interesting. And the GM work in the NBA is constantly changing. The job is not the same job that Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster took on over a decade before. So it's a very different landscape, and the rules change all the time. It's got to be difficult to stay on top of things and really understand what they are so that you can really, really utilize them to your advantage as much as possible. Yeah. Smooth saying there's a report that Memphis and Atlanta are teams to watch for Bruce Brown. Yeah, there's been a couple of rumors this week that there's been some trades that have already been offered in different ways in different places with the Raptors, and the Raptors have rejected them. Yeah, very interesting. I don't know. We'll have to see. Once again, I believe there probably is truth to some of these rumors, but I don't know what is exactly true or not, and I don't want to speculate too much. We do know Bruce Brown's on the trading block, and we do know that teams are going to be interested in him. So until it happens, we'll see. But yeah, I heard about the Memphis and Atlanta rumors, and a couple other teams also rumored that they had made offers to us. I think the Knicks were one of them, and we rejected them. Rejected the offers. Maybe they weren't coming correct, and they were kind of coming with something that was like, yeah, this isn't what we want. This isn't what we want. We want something a little bit more than this. Yeah, you're not going to get Bruce Brown for that. Nako's saying no pressure to win, but that doesn't mean we can't keep our eyes out for jumps. Yeah, the Raptors are going to be awesome. They are going to be very fun to watch. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be rookie mistakes. There's going to be issues that we're going to have problems with experience in late game situations closing out, so that we don't know how to close games and win yet. In some ways, Scotty can cover this up if he wants to be the overwhelming talent, or RJ or Emmanuel, any of the barbecue guys. If they're able to use their experience on how to close out games and help us win to close out games, that's great. I mean, in the past, Freddie was that guy for us for many years that was really the closer, the guy who would handle things and control things at the end to shape us getting to the win. And in some ways, we're going to have to find new leaders on our team that are going to step up in late game situations and help the Raptors show how they can win in every game situation. That's going to be part of the problem. That really is the problem with having an inexperienced team, is if you don't know how to close out in late game situations against a more veteran team like the Nuggets or the Celtics, you may be in trouble. So that's part of the learning curve. We could be very talented and do all kinds of great stuff in games, catch on fire, have good team continuity. But if we do not know how to close out games with winning plays and playing perfect basketball in some cases, well, we're going to lose some games that were very close that we could have won because we didn't manage the end of the clock very well. So this is part of the signs of a rebuilding team and a young team that's getting their feet under them and learning how to win. Now, we'll do as well as our barbecue leaders will show us. Maybe Grady does hit big shots at the end of games, and it really helps us clutch, win games somehow, some way. We'll have to see. Yeah, Smooth saying if Scotty can make the leap to 25 points per game, Raptors win 45 games. I don't want this to happen, Smooth, because Scotty's, well, hello and welcome had Keeks on yesterday. And they were talking about what is the possibility that the barbecue guys, all three of them, average over 20 points per game. In some ways, I don't care about this. And I think this is a silly thing to look at. I think it's very likely that RJ will be averaging over 20 points for sure. In fact, he may be getting close to 30 points. But thinking that Emmanuel and Scotty will both be over 20 points for sure is not totally true, maybe. Scotty may not average over 20 points this year. And the reason why is because, like Darko said, he is so considerate and giving and passing to everybody else. Scotty having a leap in his scoring average like this may mean that he's doing too much. And I'm not looking for him to average 25 points per game. I could see him having big games from time to time where he gets like almost a 40 to 50 point game because he just has a monster game where he is the guy who's just taken over. But more often than not, he's going to be the facilitator. He's going to be the guy looking for other people because that's his nature. And it's more likely his assist numbers will go up than his points per game will go up this season. So in some ways, that's not an indicator I'm looking for from Scott, is his points per game jumping a huge amount, because I don't think that's what's going to happen, guys. I think that the gains and the things that you're going to see with Scott are going to be with assists and defense, that he's going to have a way better defensive game on the other side of the game. And those are the two things that will help us win the best. It's not Scotty scoring more points. It's not Scotty scoring more points. Seymour saying the Wizards will finish with the worst record to end the season. Even Charlotte looks better. Yikes. Yeah. Wizards are really, really, really bad. And Seymour is exactly right on that one. Exactly right. That's right. Nako's saying if Scotty gets 25, 8 and 7 and 4 stocks, he'll be MVP. Yeah, he won't be MVP, but he'll be possibly all NBA. That's for sure. He won't jump just right into the MVP conversation. In some ways, you've got to do certain things at an all NBA level for a couple years, and then you get consideration. Like SGA is on the escalator next to try and get up and get that MVP. Seriously, because he came in second to Jokic last year. So in some ways, you got to show up and be in the conversation before you just outright win the MVP, Gerald. So he's got to get a first-team All-NBA first before he gets that. Yeah, and those stats, I don't agree with them either. I'll say he gets 20 points per game, 10 assists, 9 assists and like 10 rebounds, something like that. So he could average a double-double, but he could actually almost average a triple-double. Seriously, what if Scotty averages 15 points per game, but he gets 10 rebounds and 10 assists a game, and he averages a triple-double? Seriously, he could do that. In fact, I think that's a more helpful stat line for him than him trying to get 25, guys. I don't think him getting 25 is likely, just so y'all know. Carlos saying, not gonna lie, Charlotte's lineup looks good this year. We'll have to see. In some ways, they're as good as their coach. They're as good as their young knuckleheads that, aren't really fundamentally that good. We'll see. We'll see. I want to see them first. I'm not giving them any kind of respect or anything until I see them on the court. And I haven't watched them. I'll find out when we get to them. Just saying, because he already has all the other intangibles, everything is in place for that leap. Yeah, $3 million without power in Florida. That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Well, hopefully they can restore power sooner than later. And people are being careful because this is a very dangerous time. After the storm is very, very dangerous right now. Yeah, we'll have to see, Smooth. You guys have interesting ideas for what you guys want to see from Scotty this year, and we'll just have to see. Nako saying if LaMelo is healthy all year, Charlotte's good. We'll have to see. I don't believe in LaMelo. LaMelo is such a flashy sizzle player. There's not a lot of stake to this guy, and he's fundamentally horrible. So, yeah, he's not the kind of player that's a winning player, guys. Let's just put it that way. I don't put that. I don't see him as being a winner ever. He can be fun to watch for highlights, but that dude is not a winning kind of player. Just trust me on this. His brother isn't either, obviously, since he can't stay healthy. Seymour's saying their rookie looks good. Charlotte will win 20 games this season at most. See, that's probably likely. 20 games at most. Yeah, that's probably about right. Randolph saying, Lex, God answers prayers. He heard all the prayers and less the impact and devastation that could have been in Florida. It could have been so much worse. That's awesome. And I believe that. I think the power of prayer is very powerful. That, that people can pray for you from far away. You can actually get some protection from that. They always say your grandmother's praying for you somewhere. Well, yeah, that's helped protect you at times in ways that you cannot explain. I'm telling you that right now. Thoughts and prayers is a goofy kind of thing. But honestly, if there's a collective of people around the world really focusing faith, prayer kind of behavior and thoughts, they can have real tangible help. And I think that what Randolph's saying here is probably very true, that there were a lot of people praying to lessen the devastation of Milton. And it actually worked out. Seymour saying Pistons still stink. Yeah, they're in trouble. Monty Williams gone. And Tobias Harris, hello. They're in trouble. Yeah, Detroit's in trouble. Seymour saying Raptors 2024-25 champions. F it. I'm speaking into existence. That's right. Say it again. Raptors 2024-2025 NBA champions. Why not? What do we have to lose? Nothing. Let's just go ahead and do it. Raptors going to win that Larry O'Brien this year. How about that? All right, there you go. G saying go Lynx, and I want to go completely different and do a teal and orange for our WNBA team. That's kind of cool. Now the teal and orange, is that kind of like, no, I guess it's okay. I mean, I would say that New York Liberty kind of have teal and orange because they have teal and black, but in their third color is orange. So, I would kind of say maybe we're stepping on Liberty territory as far as with their colors, but I like the way you're thinking. Orange is such an important color to the WNBA. It's the league's color, and we see it with everything for the branding for the WNBA. So in some ways, using orange as the color, you got to be really careful with it because in some ways they want you to have a very distinguishable thing and not just be like WNBA orange. I don't know. We'll have to see. Gee, so good to see you. Raptor Freak Trivia Champion number 1. G in the house. And Seymour's listening to Eye Candy call into me today. That's right. That's right. Let's see. And also, let me make sure I don't skip any comments. Say happy. Hey, Seymour, gold is in the same scheme palette of brown. Great option. Brown and gold. Brown and gold. Especially if you get like a, oh man, there's some ideas there because brown and gold does look kind of good, or brown and a very like nice yellow, a very strong yellow. Yeah, there's some certain color motif there. Yeah. Good morning, Raptor Free Crew from Cool Cat checking in. Cool Cat, how are you doing today, Coach? Andrew's saying OG is the fourth offensive option at best. Yeah. Oh yeah, and he may be even lower on most nights because there's other guys stepping up like Josh Hart and other people around there. Yeah, Seymour saying, what's your take on the Raptors 30th anniversary chips by Ruffles? Spicy all dressed. There's some Raptors 30th anniversary chips. That's awesome. That's so cool. All right, let me go do the Instagram stories. I may be missing something here. Davion Mitchell is celebrating Jared Harper for getting something. They call him the real Vino. It's the real wine. I don't know what Lloyd is celebrating here. Outer Banks on Netflix, some sort of show, and he's listening to Tame Impala, which is pretty cool. Jonathan Mobo is praying for the people in the storm path in Florida, back where he's from. Multiple fatalities reported after tornadoes touched down in East Florida's St. Lucie and Palm Beach counties. So the home counties of Scotty and Jonathan got hit in this storm yesterday. And there's a lot of friends and family that are probably affected by the storm that J-Mo and Scotty have. So I'm sure they're checking on them today and making sure people are all right. Norman Powell with the new Clippers logo on him and on the court. It looks pretty sharp, honestly. The Clippers putting a San Diego Clippers court down. Man, these courts, they don't care anymore. NBA is going to make like courts for preseason and just put San Diego Clippers on there. I mean, and those courts are like $100,000 each. Man, they spending money wild in the NBA these days. They really are. Jeez. Yeah. Let's see. Shout out to my brother, Norman Powell. Who is that? I don't know who that is. Some guy with Norman on the court. Let's keep going. Here he is with the fans. Good stuff. Slim Duck getting ready for the game. Looking kind of like Muhammadu in that one picture. And there he's got Cat Williams in some sort of clip. He's laughing about it. It's something with Snoop Dogg. I don't know what's going on there. And then Chris is at a boutique store or somewhere. It looks like with some clothing, maybe buying some clothes yesterday. Let's see what else we got going on. Raptors. The Raptor is doing a camp. Always a great time hanging out with our future stars. So it looks like he's hanging out with some young people who are playing basketball. Raptors awesome. Number 95, you're my hero, guy. Scotty bought jerseys yesterday, guys. He bought his first jerseys. You know, Scotty said on his Twitch one time that he doesn't really buy jerseys, that he's not really a jersey collector, that's not really his thing. But he went and bought some jerseys, and there are two of them, and they're number 22, and they say Clark on the back, just so you all know. Scotty's a big fan of Caitlin Clark, and it looks like he's got a couple of Caitlin Clark jerseys. I'll bet you they're signed, too. I'll bet you they're signed. He wouldn't just get regular Caitlin Clark jerseys. I bet you he's got Caitlin Clark rookie signed jerseys. So Scotty getting out there and getting some jerseys, and they're fire is what he's saying. That's so awesome. You come on Twitch and tell us about the birth of your child, Scott. Pascal Siakam's doing the filming and indie stuff. He's riding around. He's riding around Conseco Fieldhouse in his car. He's talking in his car on his all kinds of stuff. He's going to play with people on a court, just pick up basketball. He's out there with the kids and other people. It was Johnny Furphy and a couple other Pacers and stuff. So he's putting in work and having fun and hanging out. And yeah, Siakam's fun, man. Siakam's still having a blast, and he's still a Raptor great, and we love him, and we hope he does really well this year. All right, so the Raptors are doing a preseason ticket giveaway for the game on the 15th, and you can just go in there and say who you would take to the game, and the Raptors will put you in a raffle to win tickets for the game next Tuesday on October the 15th against the Celtics in the preseason. So Raptors preseason ticket giveaway, y'all. Go to your Raptors official admin places to find this, and you can enter. So, yeah, check that out. Jamal McGlure always doing good things in the community. His 2024 laptop drive was a success. Good job, Jamal McGlure Foundation, giving back to the community, especially for kids going back to school this fall. And he's also saying everybody is getting their life together. Stop taking distance personal. Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. Listen, if you haven't talked to somebody in a while and you're wondering why you didn't talk to them, pick up the phone and just call them. Seriously, don't think anybody's avoiding you or not talking to you. Life is just crazy. And in some ways, you get so busy doing what you got to do to just keep going that sometimes, it's hard to keep up with all your friends. And in the pandemic, people got more disconnected. Well, maybe there are some people you haven't talked to in a couple years that you need to check base with. So do it. Just do it today. Don't waste any time. Jamal Shed is celebrating somebody's birthday again. It's a friend of his, and he's got all this. His guy's playing ping pong with a drink in his hand. He's doing a good job without spilling it. That's pretty good. But he did lose the ping pong. And this it's his birthday, so Shed's saying happy birthday. This guy, it might be his brother. Honestly, I'm not totally sure. But yeah, bro sleeps like a walrus, is what he's saying. The guy's on the workout table, and he's like, he's crashed out. But happy birthday, Batman, is what he's saying to his friend. And there's Wallpaper Wednesday on Raptors 905. They got a Brandon Carlson wallpaper. If you guys are interested in getting that, I don't understand how that's a wallpaper. It's vertical. You're going to flip him on his side and have him. A wallpaper has to be horizontal, Raptors 905. Why are you making wallpapers that are vertical? That don't make no sense to me. All right, there's your Instagram check. Yeah, there's a contest, y'all. The Raptors official is giving out preseason tickets to somebody who talks about who would you bring to the preseason game and why would you bring them. So yeah, you want to enter that contest, you can get some preseason tickets. That's right. There you go. So Seymour, is there some sort of Ruffles 30th anniversary Raptors chips? That's crazy. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. Fiercey's big up and Adriana for calling in. Trevor's saying, OG get every chance to handle the ball, but turn it over every chance he gets. Well, this was something that we were used to with him in Toronto, is in some ways you don't want to give OG the ball in the post with his back to the basket. He's going to dribble it off his foot. He's going to lose the ball when he turns around. Somebody swats it out of his hands. In some ways, you got to give OG the ball outside the three and let him drive. That is your best opportunity to get him to be okay without turning the ball over. You cannot post OG. I'm sorry. He does not post well. So, New York fans, if you're listening to me, there's a little bit of a scout on OG from an old Raptors head that's watched him for many years. Seymour saying hi to Adriana. That's so cool. She called me this morning. In some ways, like I said, we're on very good terms, and we're still very good friends, even if we've changed things about our relationship status. I love you, Adriana, so much. And I really do appreciate you calling. There's Andrew putting the purple fever in there. That's right. Adriana probably loves that. The purple space invaders. So cool. And Seymour's laughing at Trevor. And Fiercey saying all the girls calling in. Next up, Monique, Cool Cat, Dana, etc. Yeah, maybe I'll have to see if I can call anybody else. Maybe I'll make a call myself. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I call people on the phone out of the blue. And they may get mad at me for calling them without telling them. But let me see. Who should I call that's in my phone book that would be fun to call right now that could be good? I called Evelyn like this the other day, and she was fine with it. She wasn't upset. Let me see. Who should I call? I'm going to see who maybe would be a good person to call about this. No. You know what? We could try this person, but they're probably very busy. I don't want to do that. I'm going to try one other person real quick. And it's somebody that y'all don't really know, but it is somebody who would be fun to talk to today if I could get them on the phone. So let's see. We'll see if they answer. No, he's not answering, so it's no good. All right, we'll continue with the show. If anybody else wants to call that has access to the phone number, call in. It's the call-in show today, and I'm taking number calls. You don't have to just be a lady. You can be a guy. You can be whoever. Cool Cat saying, I like the color scheme we currently have in the WNBA, the orange with lots of other colors with some purple in it, of course. Yeah, from like the picture that I used for this stream, it's orange, but it has kind of a change in the corner with a little bit of purple. I think the basic numbers of the WNBA, the basic colors of the WNBA are orange and white. And in some ways, as long as you have another color in there with the orange, you're good if you want to use orange as one of your colors. Yeah, Fiercey saying purple. She got that purple rain. Okay, you want me to sing a little bit of that? I never meant to do you any sorrow. I never meant to hurt you with any pain. Girl, I could never see you with another. I only want to see you laughing in that purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, Purple rain. Purple rain. Purple rain. Only want to see you laughing in the purple rain. I know. I'm not doing any of that. All right. Gotta stop. All right, purple, baby. That's right. Fiercely saying red and white, Canada colors. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we want that Canada colors for sure. We got to show some pride in our country. There's some silly stuff going on with flag burning in Canada right now. I'm not cool with that. Not cool with that. I understand the right to protest and things like that. I understand that in some ways our government is helping in a really bad thing, and so is the United States government. But I still do not think the people that came here to get freedom and the right to do what they're doing should be showing this kind of thank to the country that has taken them in. In some ways, it's like, look, I'm with a lot of things that y'all are saying, but I'm not with you burning our flag. Is what I'll say right now, just on current events right now. In some ways, yeah. Is IQ playing tomorrow? There's not for sure, but it's probably likely. It could very well be. Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe we just get one letter of the barbecue each game for a little bit. Maybe we get Barrett in the first one. We'll get Barnes in this one, and maybe we'll get Quickly in the next one. I don't know. I'd like to have Quickly and Barnes for the Celtics on Sunday. Ooh, yeah, we need them. But there's no official word on IQ yet. Yeah. Cool Cat saying OG wanted a bigger role in the Raptors with money. On Knicks, he got the money with the defensive role. OG is the fifth offensive option with the starters. Yep. That's it right there. But he got paid, the highest paid player in the history of the New York Knicks, I think. Unless Cat is now. I don't know. Andrew's saying, I think red, white, and gold would be awesome. Yeah, I think so too. Maybe it's white and gold with red trim. Think about that. What if our colors are white and gold and there's a red trim? There's a red trim instead. Yeah. Interesting. Tobias is here. Good to see Tobias in the house. Fiercely saying LeBron deserves to be roasted. What an embarrassment from someone who is supposedly the face of the league. Just retire already. No, he just has to stroke his ego and play with his son for 1 year, and then you can complain about. You won't have to complain about traveling anywhere, LeBron. Seriously. Oh man, it's Carlos saying Milwaukee fans should boo him. I mean, they may. I don't know. Maybe not. They probably won't. But who knows? In some ways, people are booing him in his Twitter comments, basically, for what he said, honestly. Stargate saying, oh, please, Charlotte is going to be exactly what they've been the last few years. LaMelo is not the type of player that is conducive to making others around him better and winning. He is all flash. Right there, Stargate's going to get a dunk because, honestly, he's going down even more with what I just said in a more in-depth fashion. And I agree with him. In some ways, listen, this guy is got all the young people enamored with his highlights, his passing, and his weird stuff. But honestly, this guy is all flash, just like Stargate said. You're going to dunk 48 dunks for Stargate. Yeah, he's not that kind of player that wins NBA. I'm telling you right now, he's just not that kind of player. I can tell players that are winners. Jamal Shed is a winner. Scotty Barnes is a winner. And there's players in this league that are not winners, that will not win anything, and they haven't. People like James Harden and LaMelo Ball. Yeah. Carlos saying to see with that. That is a good point by Carlo right there. Yeah. Tobias saying LeBron has always been lazy. LeBron could always fake an injury and stay home and not go to Milwaukee. I know. I'm wondering why he didn't do that. Maybe he's so busy caught up in the Bronny hype that he didn't realize, oh, Bron, we're getting on a plane to go to Milwaukee. He's like, okay, yeah, let's get on. And he's like, wait, where are we going? Why am I on this plane to Milwaukee? It's preseason. Oh, LeBron, you should have realized this ahead of time. And said, yeah, I'm not flying out there. Maybe Adam Silver would get mad at him. It's like, LeBron, we advertised that you're going to be in Milwaukee for this preseason game. We sold a bunch of tickets. Not there. It's really, really bad. Stargate saying the Toronto Targaryens. Is that like a Target, like the store? Sort of Star Trek race that I've never heard of, the Targaryens or something like Ferengi or something like that. I don't know. Is that something from like a sci-fi or something? Like the Gorgons you were saying the other day is like the Targaryens? Interesting. Targaryens. What about the Toronto Tangerines? And then you just you're right in with the bank. Tangerine Bank, official sponsor of the Toronto Tangerines WNBA team. Toronto Tangerines. And then you have an orange color scheme somewhere in there. Yeah, because it's Toronto Tangerines. I don't know. Tangerines. Is that a feisty name? In some ways, we got to think about what with the Raptor name. The Raptor name kind of set up a whole kind of mentality for our players and how they play. In some ways, Bateau Group, when they made the name the Raptors, they wanted it to be like a team that was defensive oriented. They did really want to have a replica of the Bad Boys from Detroit. And in some ways, when they made the name Raptors, they were thinking, well, Raptor is like a very fast animal that can run and grab. And in some ways, that's kind of been a little bit of our identity as a team for 30 years now, that we've been a very snatch and grab kind of team. We can think about Nick Nurse's defensive schemes. We can think about how we rebound, how we like to have an emphasis on defense throughout most of our history. In some ways, you got to think about that when you make the WNBA team name. Is what is the action or what is the thing about it? That's why Toronto Turtles does not work, y'all. That's why maybe Toronto Tangerines doesn't work either. What are you going to do? Just roll around on the floor? I'm going to peel you. Seymour said baby blue and gold. Baby blue, red, and gold. Now, I will say this. The Atlanta Dream kind of have baby blue, red, and black, which may be similar with a baby blue, red, and gold. Interesting colors, though, Seymour. Interesting colors. Or baby blue, purple, and gold. That may be a little bit more different than the other one. But baby blue, purple, and gold. Yeah, I don't think anybody's got anything like that. A baby blue with a purple and a gold trim. And maybe gaudy. That's the one thing. If we're going to put gold as one of the three colors, it may make it kind of look gaudy in some ways. It depends on the kind of gold. Is it metallic gold or is it like a yellow gold? That may have something to do it too. In some ways, we got to be careful with blue and red as far as with United States. And, red, white, and blue, we're red and white. And the blue is not necessarily one of our colors, even if it is for our hockey team and our baseball team. Yeah. Carlos saying, I'm down with the baby blue. He likes the baby blue. Baby blues, baby. Baby blues. Of course, Carlo, you're down with the baby blue because you got the baby. Stargate saying, sorry, I spelled it incorrectly. It's Targaryens. Targaryens. Is this from Game of Thrones? Is this from Game of Thrones? Seriously? Isn't that a house in Game of Thrones? Targaryens? I think that's right. Andrew's saying, what's Scotty's stat line for his first preseason game? I'm predicting 18, 4, and 5 in 20 minutes. That sounds good. We got to, I think your minutes prediction is most exact because I don't think he's going to go over 20 minutes for sure. And who knows? Maybe he has a game like RJ and he gets like a crazy amount of points over his minutes played. That'd be cool. I mean, it is the Wizards. So, Andrew, I like your prediction here. I think it's pretty good. It may be that he gets more rebounds. How about that? And maybe some more assists. Maybe 18, 6, and 8. Something like that. 18, 6, and 8. I like that. Mike's saying the breaker of rims. First of its name. Laugh out loud. The breaker of rims. Oh, because of Targaryens? That's funny. Andrew's saying back-to-back preseason games? No, there's games in between. We're going to go on a day on, day off schedule for the rest of the preseason after this. We got all these days off since the first Wizards game. We'll play the Wizards tomorrow. We'll be off on Saturday, and we'll play the Celtics in Boston after that. So we're in Washington tomorrow night. We travel from Washington to Boston on Saturday. We play Boston in Boston on Sunday, and then we travel back to Toronto on Monday and play the Celtics in Toronto on Tuesday. And then we're off on Wednesday, and then we play the Nets on the Thursday. So it really is a day on, day off kind of schedule coming up in the rest of the preseason. So we're going to get 4 out of our 5 preseason games all in a week. And that'll be awesome because we'll be very busy on the channel with reactions and previews. So Seymour saying, who's Stinky Pinky? Sounds kinky. What? What? Tingus Pingus? What? Oh, he's talking about Porzingis. Yeah, because Porzingis is out. This may be a good time for the Raptors to play the Celtics. Although I've always said if Porzingis is out there, he's a loser and he helps teams lose. So in some ways, I like him being healthy. I like him being healthy because in some ways, I don't think he's that much of a help to win sometimes. Andrew's saying, I hope Shamshay gets more than 6 minutes next game. Yeah, you know what? I could see that against the next Wizards game, but in the Celtics games, we'll have to see. It depends on how things go. If it's a route or something like that, Shamshay may get a lot of time in the fourth quarter or something like that. But it is really like he's the third team, and Darko's in no rush to move him along, little by little, step by step. Not going to miss any of the steps with our young Cameroonian prince. Yeah, yeah. In some ways, he's interacting with Koloko, the turncoat on the Lakers, and Koloko's making fun of Shamshay on his media day pictures for his high socks. He said, "Bro, what's up with your high socks, my guy?" Oh, so funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah. All right. Let me see. There's some stuff in the chat that I forgot to talk about. I've missed Monique in the chat recently, and she would have told me to talk about this. Guys, Javon Freeman Liberty is leaving his Turkish team with Jordan Wara to come back to the States because the Bulls are going to sign him. The Bulls are in a bad place. And apparently he's going to come back and he's going to be on the Bulls this year after all. And he escaped from the Turkish league because the Bulls need people badly. And of course, he's going back home. He's a hometown product from that market. So JFL is actually returning to the NBA at this point, is what I'm hearing. Mike Roach has a new podcast out with Matt Devlin. Matt Devlin doing different shows this week. Hello and welcome. And also Mike Roach show. Really happy to see Mike Roach continuing to do stuff, even though Yahoo Canada ended doing the Hustle Play podcast. Mike Roach is a fantastic Raptors person in the media, and he is a producer on the telecast. You see him sitting next to Alvin and Matt when they're calling the game because he's helping them. But yeah, anything with Mike Roach is great, and I appreciate him and the Raptors around the Raptors media stuff. Very, very, very good. Let me see. I'm going to go through this some more and make sure I didn't forget anything else. Oh, Herbie Kuhn was recently interviewed by Raptors admin people for talking about the 30th anniversary. And he's saying that he's really excited to see what the project will end up looking like. We know that Chuck Swirsky's been interviewed recently for the same thing. So they're talking to a whole bunch of people from the history of the Raptors 30 years. And this is going to be really sentimental for people like us. People that have been there for the team through the whole thing and seeing all the different chapters and the old faces and the old people come back and talk about the Raptors and the 30 years and the history is going to be really sentimental to like me personally. I know that, and I'm sure for a lot of you guys. So when we watch it, man, we got to take pride in how far we've came as a franchise over the 30 years. That there's already been a couple clips that Raptors have been showing in the broadcast on Sunday that really got me welling up and thinking, man, this has been a whole ride, 30 years with this team. And in some ways it's had its ups and downs, but I wouldn't change anything about it. And I'm excited to see the interviews with the longtime Raptors personnel like Herbie and Chuck Swirsky from way back and hearing them talk about what the 30 years of Raptors mean to them. That's going to be very, very cool. Guys, I'm getting vibes that Bruno Fernando is on the outs with the Raptors, guys. Seriously. And maybe I'm talking about something the Raptors don't want me to talk about right now, but I will because this is what I do on this channel as far as what I see. It looks like Bruno posted something in his Instagram stories yesterday. The quote was a million of feelings, 0 words. And he scrubbed his account of Raptors pictures. Could very well be, and I'm windowsing this, that in the first preseason game, Jamias Ramsey, Jared Rhoden, and Jamison Battle played so well for the Raptors that Bruno Fernando is at the bottom of that depth chart to make the last roster spot. It could very well be that Masai and Bobby have talked to Bruno and said, you know what, these guys are playing way better than you, and we can get more out of them. Because I'm going to be honest, Bruno Fernando is not looked good in training camp so far. In some ways, the game against the Wizards, he was kind of in. Meanwhile, Rhoden and Battle were bombing and making everything. And Jamias Ramsey has a certain two-way ability to him that is just really, really attractive. So it could also be that some of the other big guys like Mobo and Shamshay and Carlson are actually showing that they could be maybe depended on in a certain way. That now Bruno Fernando's non-guaranteed contract, maybe he got the down low already that they're not going to guarantee it because he did something on social media yesterday that's very telling. Million feelings, no words. What is that supposed to mean? Especially against a black backdrop, and there's not a whole lot on there. So I'm reading the tea leaves, and it seems like the non-guaranteed contract of Bruno Fernando will not be getting guaranteed for this season. And that it's very likely we're going to go with one of those 3 guys, one of the 3 J's, Jamias, Jared, or Jamison, as the last person on our roster this year. So yeah, I saw this yesterday and I'm like, man, nobody's going to talk about this in the media because nobody's paying attention like we are. And I saw this and I think that this is very telling. So we'll see if Lex is right once again about this and that Fernando's on the outs and that we are going to keep maybe hopefully Jamias Ramsey, because I would love to see Jamias Ramsey be a full-time Raptor this year, because he would help with the Davion Mitchell, Jamal Shed kind of effect of being just a nasty guard on the outside. In some ways, I can tell Darko's going to help the team, the guys up front, by making those little guys do the heavy lifting on defense this year. And if you want depth at that position, you got Mitchell, you got Shed, you got Carton. Well, you got Quickly. Well, get Ramsey also. And some people have said around the organization, you can never have too many good, talented point guards in your organization. So that's kind of interesting that I noticed that. And this isn't something nobody else and any Raptors content makers or anywhere else is going to tell you stuff like what I just told you. That Bruno Fernando said millions of feelings, 0 words, and it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Wow. Yeah, let's see. Tobias is saying, hey, Raptors Freak, how does the draft work? Is it regular draft or a snake draft? It is a snake draft, and it will be 20 teams. So it's a really long time to wait around. If you're on the turn, get ready to draft twice. So if you're picking first or 20th, you're going to have 2 picks in a row, Tobias. Now, we do have an open spot in the league right now, guys. I need to fill this. We've got 16 teams right now. For the most part, we got to figure out who are those last 4. Jason Dukes is going to return as the first original Raptor Freak NBA fantasy champion for us. He will be playing, but I put the link in there. And if somebody who's not in the league yet that wants to join our Yahoo Fantasy League can get in there and get that team right now, there is an open spot right this second. But if you already have a team, don't put yourself in twice. I'll take you out if you do. Seymour saying that putback was nice from Shamshay. We want more from Prince Shamshay. Yeah, it was very nice. It was very good reaction. It was really nice athleticism and really good instincts shown in that putback, the basket that Ulrich made in the first preseason game. Yeah, we want to see more, but all in good time, Seymour. And in some ways, let's take the time to unravel and see the amazingness of Shamshay over time. It's not all going to come at once and just dump right in front of us. It's going to be little by little and more. And time, all of a sudden, we're going to be like, man, that guy grew up. He's not a young man anymore. He's a full-fledged, full-grown man. And he is an NBA player that knows what he's doing. So we're going to be there at some point, but don't expect it this year. In some ways, he's 18 years old, and we've got to understand Prince Shamshay has time to grow and get better and better. As Darko and them have said, he's a long-term project. And we got to remember that, Raptors fans. We got to remember that. Andrew's saying, yeah, that was a clean putback. Hopefully he gets less fouls so he can stay on the floor. Last game, he had 4 fouls in 6 minutes, part of learning the game. Yeah. Welcome to the league. And yeah, he's going to have to learn about not fouling. I called this right away. I said, Shamshay will play as much as his foul trouble will allow him. That's how it'll go with him. Andrew's saying, I hope Scotty's handle is tighter. He's always working on ball handling drills. He's got a very good handle, honestly, already. In some ways, for a big guy like him and how much he does dribble the ball, especially in traffic against high-level opponents, he doesn't turn the ball over very much. He has good strength, and he's smart about where he dribbles. He is very, very smart about it. The thing that's going to be interesting about Scott and his gains this summer, and I'm going to say this right now, Brian Macon is a genius. Brian Macon, you are one of my favorite people in the world. Because last year, you brought Scott back with a whole new level to him that got him the All-Star game. I really believe that in some ways, a huge part of Scotty's success is his trainer, Brian Macon, who has made him grow and get even better. And now you put in the development mind of Darko with Brian Macon in the offseason with him, and all of a sudden, Scotty's making leaps and bounds every offseason. So when you see Scotty come out with a much better shot, that's where I think it's going to be the difference, Andrew, that he's going to have a much more tuned in shot. His 3-pointers are going to be even better. He's going to be more dialed in. The work he's put in with Brian Macon and the program that Darko set up for him this summer is going to show. And I think that's the area we're going to see a leap in it. Even though we saw a leap in Scotty's shooting last year, we're going to see even more of a leap with Scotty's shooting this year. as far as more dialed in, right down the middle, straight through the net, no rim. That kind of stuff's coming up with him. I'm telling you right now. Adriana's saying, love you too, Lex, and all the Raptors freaks. That's right. She's a real one. She's a RFF forever. That's right. It's like NWO for life, RFF for life. That's right, baby. That's right. Adriana, you're so sweet and amazing. I love you so much. Smooth saying, I understand having equal opportunity offense, but eventually Scotty will have to become a true number one option for Toronto to take the steps they need. Remember, there's a new majority ownership from Rogers. I agree with what you're saying to a degree, but in some ways, there's guys that can do it for him. And in some ways, he wants to put the ball through them. And that guy's name is Barrett. In some ways, listen, we're going to need a clutch scorer to take us home, sure. And Emmanuel and RJ, in some ways, may be more that guy. But Scotty, we could switch it up. And all of a sudden say, yeah, guys, this time I want to do it. And I'm going to take over and do this. But let's not get this twisted, Smooth. In some ways, Scotty's a really good diversion. He's a really good threat. In some ways, the thing about Scotty that's so powerful is everybody has to gravitate towards him and worry about him. And he's that kind of player. When the double comes, he makes them pay by getting it to RJ, and all of a sudden he's dunking it through. When the Bulls would win big games during their three-peats, their 2 3-peats in the 90s, it wasn't Michael making the big shots. It was Bobby Hansen. It was Steve Kerr. It was John Paxson. And that's what I'm talking about. So it could be Grady Dick. It could be Emmanuel Quickley. It could be RJ Barrett. And Scotty is the diversion. He's the one who takes all the energy and the attention, and it goes other places. Now, I don't disagree with you. I want to see Scotty take over games personally sometimes and take it home and win games, just like Siakam taking the ball to hoop against Phoenix and laying it up and winning the game at the buzzer. I want to see that happen with him, but we have options. And in some ways, the more natural people to do that are the other two guys in the barbecue. Yeah, RJ is definitely a scorer first. And in some ways, the clutch duties of carrying us at the end of the game and making big baskets is on his shoulders a little bit more than Scotty's in some ways, because he's that guy who's proven it. And in some ways, Scotty, it's not that Scotty can't do it. It's just that Scotty's more powerful in adding to the whole picture and doing the assist in it. In some ways, I know what you're saying, and I agree. I want to see Scott take over games himself personally and win some on his own also. I think that it's an equal opportunity thing in that way, in some ways. Yeah. Let's see. Cool Cat's saying OG's challenges on the court with the Raptors are same with the Knicks. His persistence is good quality to see. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, OG's just awesome. We love him. He's been funny in the media with the New York Knicks coming into the season. They asked him recently, what makes you such a good defender, OG? And what did he say to them? Classic OG. I don't know. And that's it. He didn't say nothing after that. He just said, I don't know. And that was his answer to the New York press about how it is make you. Now, he's getting respect. This is something I love. He never got this when he was on the Raptors, but he's getting it now as a Knick. He got voted the number 2 most versatile defender in the NBA by the NBA GMs. So this is messed up. GMs, why are you always just sullying us? Like, why couldn't you vote him number 2 on that like last year or the year before when he was still a Raptor? Seriously, because in some ways it's not that he's changed drastically. It's just that he changed his team. And all of a sudden you're saying, oh, he's one of the second most versatile defender in the league after Victor Wembanyama. That's a big fucking accolade. The GMs think that. And so in some ways I'm proud of him for getting that. And maybe that means he gets some defensive team kind of award at the end of the year. But man, yeah, it's coming finally. The accolades and the recognition for his defense. It's too bad it couldn't happen in our red and black. It's too bad. Yeah, it's too bad, man. Smooth saying they won't tolerate the true concept of rebuilding. Yeah, we won't. No, not us. Not here in Toronto, because in some ways rebuilding means losing a lot, and we're about winning. And we may not win games every single time, but we're about winning a culture and building and developing, and we're going to do that. That's right. Purple Rain Pipes. There you go, Cool Cat. Just for y'all ladies today. Singing a little bit of Prince, a little sentimental. That's right. Andrew's saying less than 20 subs away, Lex. I know. I've been going up. And I know as we get closer to the season, people want to know what's going on with the Raptors. They want to put a finger on the pulse of what's going on with the Raptors. This is one of the best places to find out. I mean, what did I just tell you guys about Bruno Fernando right now? And there's no tweets on this at all anywhere. Nobody's seeing this. Nobody's seeing this except Lex. Lex sees everything. And that's what they're going to find out. I see everything. And Andrew's saying Toronto Tasmanian Devils. Now, that's a copyright for sure with Warner Brothers. Yeah, the Tasmanian Devil. That dude was cool. Who was your favorite Looney Tune? I thought the Tasmanian Devil was pretty cool. He's misunderstood. He was always like dangerous and destructive, but he was always like a kind, nice guy when they like stopped. He stopped. He's like, oh, and he'd be like, stop, and he'd be like, he'd help somebody after he tore something up. It's almost like he felt bad. It's almost like he felt bad. Yeah, the Tasmanian Devil is pretty cool, and that's probably not. I mean, where's the tie to a Tasmanian Devil? Are we in New Zealand? No, we're not a New Zealand team. We're not in the NBL. So why would we name our team the Tasmanian Devils? Toronto Dragons was very much talked about. Very much talked about. And yeah, been considered, Mike. That has been on the list. And they weren't totally clear on whether that has actually been ixnayed. That one actually could be still surviving in the short list right now, Mike, just so you know. Toronto Dragons. Because in some ways, like I was just saying, the whole raptor from the Jurassic Park, well, dragons would come from Game of Thrones, right? Yeah. Dragons are in Game of Thrones. And in some ways, dragons are kind of fantastical and they're always in hip. And in some ways, the dragon is not that far off from the raptor. But then again, that's once again something they don't want to do is be too similar to the Toronto Raptors. So maybe having any kind of lizard, reptile kind of mascot is not what Teresa Resch wants because it may be like, oh, dragons and raptors. Well, I see what you did there. So we got to think about this a lot. You got to really think about it. In some ways, Teresa Resch has described this as like you think about something for a while, then you go away from it, and then you come back and revisit it. Is it still just as fresh and just as this is the right thing? In some ways, that's how they're stress testing these short name team names for the Toronto WNBA team. Is that they're coming back and coming back. Is this still fresh? Does this still work in my mind? Okay, no, wait. I just thought about it. This is not going to work for this reason. So there's a lot of vetting going on right now. A lot of vetting. Andrew's saying Toronto Toucans. Easy Fruit Loops sponsor. Toronto Toucans. Toronto Toucans. I don't know. Once again, what does the toucan have to do with Toronto other than being out at the zoo? Seriously, are there toucans naturally in Ontario? I don't think there are. No, they're not. I don't think. Let's see. Mike saying Toronto Dothraki. That's from Game of Thrones, definitely right there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You guys are funny. You're funny, Mike. I'm gonna give you a dunk for being funny. Yeah, that's funny. That's pretty good right there. Y'all don't let me forget to do the classic card today. I forgot to do it yesterday, and I felt like a jerk for not doing it yesterday. It's like I didn't do the classic card. What the hell? Carlos saying, if we let go of Bruno, what is our big man depth chart? Well, it's not bad still. I mean, you think about it. We got Jakob, we got Kelly, we got Shamshay, we got Carlson, we've got Mobo. Even Scott is considered a big. I don't know. I'm just going by what I can see from social media. Why would he say millions of feelings and 0 words? That's not a good Instagram story. And like I said, he had posted pictures of him at Basketball Without Borders with Masai and Emmanuel and Darko, and they're gone. They're scrubbed from his Instagram account. You can go look at it, and you'll see that Lex is right. Yeah, Andrew's saying during Summer League, I wasn't a huge fan of Battle, but he's really grown on me since. 6'7" shooter, solid frame, 23 goals, not too bad. The thing about Battle is he's been tested. I know, Battle tested over and over again at Summer League. And even in that first preseason game, he's still money. That dude's a pure shooter. And in some ways, he's along the lines of like a Grady Dick. In some ways, he would be like the backup for Grady and that kind of steadiness for three-point shooting. So I in some ways, I would say the idea of Jamison Battle making the final roster with Fernando's out, it's wide open for those other 3 guys right now. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's wide open for Roden. And, Roden actually has a chance because he actually did play really well against the Wizards. And Jamias is, oh, my gosh. I liked Jamias so much last season. In some ways, I'd like to see Jamias Ramsey play for the Raptors full-time this year. But I could see Jamison Battle being a great option also. So it's very interesting. And just saying, yeah, Brian is a great dude. Brian? Who? Brian? Oh, wait. Who you mean? Brian. Brian Macon. Yeah, Brian Macon for sure. Yeah. Mike saying, I was watching the agenda. They were talking about Rodgers' takeover, and they said it's about the money and value of the teams and making their stock price higher. So I don't know. They need fan interest to continue. Yeah, they need that. And also winning is the best way. And Toronto's fickle. The casual sports fans in Toronto will not support a team if it's in the losing side of things. And that is very, very important. You can ask the Blue Jays. They do not sell out the Skydome when that team isn't as good. And in some ways, that's something that is going to be important to Keith Pelly and the executives at MLSE coming up. Yep. In some ways, we've got some grace period because we're in a rebuild and people can understand that realistically. But also at the same time, if we start doing really well and having success, that's going to be fantastic. It's going to be fantastic. If we're not that good this year, well, they expected that. So there is a little bit of leeway and grace period for the Raptors organization right now within this whole new ownership structure. There is. Andrew's saying, yeah, I've heard Scott has been working on pull-up jumpers a lot this offseason. Well, we can see it in the clips from this summer, whether it's pin down, whether it's the Be Great workouts in Toronto with Chris Boucher and Joe Mo. His shot is a lot more dialed in and centered to, and you'll see it. In some ways, it's fundamentals. In some ways, it's his stroke. He's been really, really working on it. And I'm telling you, Brian Macon is a big, big part of this. Yeah, it's a big, big part of this. Mike's saying the buy-in to the team needs to happen with a Dolan villain arc. I think that hurts the bottom line. We'll have to see. In some ways, listen, I'm not willing to paint Ed Rogers as the worst person in the world yet. But give me more time. Maybe I will over time. But right now, I want to work with him. Just like anything, you want to give people a chance. And, well, if Ed Rogers can be a good owner overall for the team and good things will happen underneath him, I'll be very happy. In some ways, I understand the owner has control in certain ways, but also in certain ways, the owner does want the team to be successful. So I'm looking at it as a clean slate. I take the leadership of Ujiri and saying there's no problem here with Ed Rogers and us. And I'm going to go with it because I listen to Masai. And I don't want any problems with Ed Rogers. Ed Rogers wants to help the Raptors win the next championship. Let's go get it, Ed Rogers. That's what I say right there. And he's not like Dolan. Trust me, he's not like Dolan, but he could be over time. Come talk to me in like 10 years and we'll see what's up. But hopefully it isn't going to go that way. And in some ways, we can look at his career of work with Rogers and the Blue Jays already. And yeah, it's not that impressive and kind of scary. But the problem with the Blue Jays is their front office. They just need to have better people managing that team. And we have good people managing our basketball team. And that is a difference right there. That's right. And just saying, I looked at those GM surveys. Scotty wasn't, hang on, I jumped ahead. I want to make sure I don't miss this. No. Okay, he's saying, I looked at those GM surveys. Scotty wasn't voted for a single one, but Mobley was voted for multiple times. Well, the Raptors were pretty ignored on it. For the most part, that GM survey, I think they had Garrett Temple on there for like the second most likely to become a coach. He was right after Chris Paul. And you know who was on that list also? Fred. Fred was on that list for most likely to be a coach after his NBA career. Garrett Temple was voted second. Now, one of the things that really bugged me was that the Raptors did not show up on there for home court advantage in their arena. Normally we show up on there, but people are really disrespecting us as not being a threat as a team this year. So we didn't get any votes from GMs about being a hard home court to play in and that we don't have a home court advantage anymore. Well, Raptors fans, let's change that and let's show them the reality when people come to play us this year at Scotiabank Arena. That nothing's changed. Our arena is just as loud and we're just as crazy, just like what LeBron respects about the Toronto crowd. Yeah, we're still here. And there's still going to be Jurassic Park kind of stuff going on. Watch. There'll still be people out there. That's right. Let's see. Andrew saying a GM also voted Kawhi would have a breakout year. I mean, you could take the out of there. Like it's a make or break year. And maybe, I hate to say it, he might break something. Seriously. Mike saying Boucher is back in the mix as well. Yeah. He's got an open opportunity just like all those other rookies. As he was asked, Darko was asked yesterday, who's the fifth starter? And he said, nothing's in cement. It's all up for grabs. In some ways, yeah, the other four guys are set. They're good. But the fifth starter, it's fluid. And it doesn't mean anything if Grady starts a couple of games and then he's not starting all of a sudden. It's not a demotion. Darko's already setting up fans and telling them this. It's like, look, it may be fluid. It may be a little fluid as far as the fifth starter. It may be matchup oriented. It may be all kinds of different things. Don't overread into things, Raptors Nation. When Darko switches up the fifth starter with the barbecue yak, that it's just something that he wants the utility and the ability to do considering whatever they have in front of them as far as the opponent. So be ready for this. And you know what? Who knows? Maybe Chris does start some games because the matchup is right. Darko did say that there is going to be a new rededication to offensive rebounding in a different way, and that he's going to value trying to get the offensive rebounds. I would say this, because we've got the point of attack pit bull dark defenders of Davion Mitchell, Jamal Shed, those kind of guys. In some ways, it allows for more freedom on crashing the boards, and because our transition defense will be better with these speedy guys who are absolutely really good at hindering the ball coming up the court. So in some ways, we may be able to crash the boards more often for second chance, and this will really benefit guys like Chris Boucher. So it could be very interesting that we've reoriented our defense to not be rim protecting, but being on the outside. And because of that, maybe, but Darko did reiterate that the transition defense is absolutely more important than getting the offensive rebound. That's more important than that. Yeah. But Chris is getting the same opportunity as some ways as somebody like Ulrich Shamshay or Jonathan Mobo. You go out there and play better. He's got the advantage. He's the vet. He's been in the league for a long time. He knows what it takes. And in some ways, those youngsters don't. So he should be able to get ahead of them in the depth chart because he's a more solid vet in things. But he's going to have that same opportunity like those other guys. He's in the mix. And that's what's important. That's right, Mike. He's in the mix. Seymour saying, yes, the spicy all-dress ruffles is Raptors' 30th anniversary chip. We don't have Siakam anymore. Why are they making it spicy? Okay, I'll have to check this out. I am such a shameless Raptor freak that if there's something with Raptors brand on it, I'll go buy it, whether it's Axe body spray or some sort of McFlurry. Yeah, I'll probably go buy these chips just because there's a special 30th anniversary chip. Yeah, I'm your market. I will buy it. I'll buy it. I'm susceptible to buying Osmos because Norman told me to. Mike saying Boucher being back in the mix could have been part of letting Bruno go as well. This could be true too. Mike, very good point. Mike is very on point with his points today. That could be exactly right. That's right. Carlos saying Keith Pelly is having a hand now with the TFC rebuild. He's saying interesting things. Well, in some ways, I'll bet the Raptors in some ways are kind of autonomous. And he's like actually very appreciative of Masai. Is because in some ways he probably doesn't have to be as hands-on with the Raptors organization. He probably just has to talk to Masai and say, well, what's going on over there, Masai? And he's like, this is what's happening, Keith. And then Keith's like, you know what? You're doing a good job, man. And you make my life so much easier when it comes to the Raptors. Meanwhile, TFC is a mess. And then, Leaf stuff is always Leaf stuff. So, there's a lot he probably has to do taking care of all the different teams, Argos included, and Marlies also. So having to do less with the Raptors because they're kind of been autonomous with Masai just handling everything. But he does report to Pelly. Don't get it twisted. And it's much better that Masai's going to be reporting to Keith Pelly than directly to Ed Rogers. That's a good thing also. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. He's going to be busy. And in some ways, you don't have to worry about the Raptors. We take care of ourselves. That's right. Smooth saying, yeah, the TFC stuff, Keith Pelly is very hands-on. Well, be hands-on there, but he may not have to be hands-on with the Raptors is what I'm saying. Mike's saying Lowry got a vote for future coach as well. That's interesting. I don't think it's likely. He has no patience for idiots, is what I'll say right now. In some ways, I'd say Fred may be the same way. Like they may be saying Fred would be a good coach, but he may not want to by the time he's done. Seriously. Because in some ways, I know Fred probably sees the younger generations coming in. And he's like, these kids are knuckleheads. And I ain't having it in some ways. Yeah. Andrew's saying, I'm surprised Scotty didn't get a vote for versatility. Well, nobody's considering us for anything. And that's why. Don't look at the GM votes and think anything about it in any kind of way. They're overlooking us every which way. So it's all right. Yeah. Seymour saying, we don't need Bruno. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, I think that in some ways Bruno may have came in and he may not have worked as hard as he should have. He may have came in and he didn't do things exactly right. And that maybe that, Masai's like, you know what, Bruno, I'm sorry, man. You're not full assing. You're half assing. And that's it right there. It could be. I don't know. I'm speculating when I say stuff like this. Smooth saying Danny Green announced he's retiring from the NBA. Well, here's a salute to NBA champion, Toronto Raptors champion Danny Green, a mercenary, a man with a couple of rings, 3 rings to be exact, with 3 different teams. Danny Green, you had 1 year as a Raptor. And what a great career, fantastic year in some ways. And in some ways, Danny Green, we're proud of you and your career. And I blame Big Dummy for this. It's all Joel's fault. We know why Danny Green is retiring now is because he could never come back from that injury that Joel Embiid, his own teammate, inflicted on him. Carlos saying, yeah, TFC front office is incompetent. A lot of blunders apparently, and 1 in 4 ticket holders don't attend. Yeah. So they need the help. So there you go. Keith Pelly can go be busy with the soccer team for a while. And, he probably has to go deal with the Leafs a little bit more than we do. He does with us, too, is what I'm going to say. Tobias saying, anybody in Toronto want to send me a bag of those chips? Man, hopefully they'll have them across country. I would think that, they're not going to do it like Siakam's McFlurry, where it was just participating locations in Toronto. But we'll see. We'll figure it out. Tobias. Hopefully they'll have it at your grocery store if you're here in Canada. If you're not in Canada and you're down south, well, that you're not going to get it down there. That's for sure. Mike's saying Green Ranger needs to come down to Toronto this season for some 30th year love. Yeah, I could see that. We know Danny loved Toronto, and his Green Room podcast was very fun. In some ways, I'm not mad at him. He's a part of our history and our championship team. So yeah, if Danny Green comes and sits at the front row of the Raptors game this year and waves and gets some love on the 30th anniversary, that will be very awesome. I'd love to see that. Smooth saying Rogers doesn't care about the CFL. Well, they've got the Argos, and the Argos are in his building, right? Or wait, no, they play at BMO now, right? Well, he owns that team technically because MLSE is all under Rogers now, and the Argos are a part of MLSE. So I don't know. In some ways, you know how it is, the CFL and Argos and the history and the heritage and how it's protected by a lot of people. But then again, maybe Rogers owning the Argos now and him wanting to open the door for the NFL in Toronto. Yeah, in some ways, we talked about this. The CFL will never want that to happen because their league will be in big, big trouble if the NFL comes to Toronto and has an NFL team owned by Rogers that plays at the Skydome. Yeah, I don't even think that's the right venue, though. That venue is horrible for that kind of for the NFL. So I don't think it's likely. Who knows? Seymour saying, I bought it in Calgary. They should be all over the country. Okay, so you got these 30th anniversary ruffles, spicy, all dressed in Calgary. So Tobias Frost, check your local grocer. You might have them where you are too. So he's saying they don't give the CFL the type of media TSN does. Yeah, I see that. I can see that. He's asking, where were those chips? Tobias is asking Seymour, and Carlos saying, do they have those chips at stores now? Yeah, that's what he's saying. They must have just came out because Seymour Pape's crunching on them. So y'all go check them out. Seriously. Get your 30th anniversary Ruffles chips, apparently, guys. Crazy. There is a birthday today, guys. Happy birthday to former Raptor Nathan Jawai, Australian Nathan Jawai's birthday today. And whoa, we getting a call real quick. All right, we still got time. Let's get a call in here real quick. Let's see who it is. All right, we're on the Think Tank. Caller, you're on the air with the Raptors Freak family. Who is this?
Sorry, man. I must have butt dialed your number by accident.
Wait, who is this? This is a butt dial. Who is this? A butt dial is a great. That's a moniker from the Raptor Freak family. So if you butt dialed,
you know it.
Wait, is this Cowboy?
No, man. Who else butt dials everything?
Kareem?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so it is actually butt dial. That's actually calling. I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was you, full ass. I apologize.
Hey, man. I haven't tuned in really, so I don't know what the heck you guys are talking about. I just said, fuck it. I just wanted to get on and just say what's up.
Awesome.
Right? So,
awesome. Yeah, we're talking about the WNBA team colors and what we think the colors should be for our Toronto WNBA team. Do you have any color palette you want to espouse on right now, Kareem Thomas?
Well, I did clock it a little bit earlier, and I do like Mo's suggestion about the red, white, and gold. I actually love that, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how they're gonna. I don't know what the primary color would be, but I actually love that concept of Canada, and plus gold is always fucking it's rich, right? So yeah. I like that idea as well. I also like purple and gold. I think purple and gold kind of works as well. So.
That's more proprietary though for the city of Los Angeles though. So purple and gold may not be likely. But I was saying earlier, Kareem, what if we had primarily white with gold, gold lettering, and the red is the trim?
Yeah, see, that would work. That would work.
I think it would be really cool. And in some ways, if we do name the team something like the Triumphants, the Triumph, that gold is the gold of winning, like that Larry O'Brien behind me. And in some ways, it's we want to forecast what we want this WNBA team to do is to win WNBA cups and win the championship. And that gold would signify our aims and our goals of what we are trying to accomplish with our team. And I think that's why it's a good color.
Honestly, Superfan Mo, she's on the ball I love the name Triumph, and I love the color scheme. Like, I don't even understand why she's not creating everything. Like, she should be the one running the whole thing.
You know what? That'd be awesome. I mean, you know what? What if we do find out that they do go with what Monique has been suggesting, and then they come around and give her all the credit afterwards? I would be so proud of her. I know all the Rapper Freak family would be, and what it would be so cool, because in some ways she would be able to say, I created a WNBA team. That would be a phenomenal accomplishment for our super fan, Monique Lawrence. It would be amazing. So let's hope that for her. And I stand by what she's decided. I think that is a great idea. Toronto Triumph with the red, white, and gold. Yes, we're standing with Monique. Even if she's not here with us today, she'll watch the stream later and she'll be like, man, Kareem and Lex are awesome. They're real ones for me. It's so cool.
No, I think that's a perfect concept. I like it, and I just love that it brings, like, obviously the red and white, and I just love the gold mixed into it. It just brightens everything. Like, it puts everything together. I absolutely love that idea.
Because we need to think about this realistically. How realistic is it that they're going to get a second Canadian WNBA team down the road? Like, I don't know if it's that realistic. Seriously, it could be.
Yeah, it's highly unlikely. I mean, it has to. Like, I know, like, women in Canada, they love this. I don't know if the popularity will get that big to the point where we'll be able to franchise another team in Canada. Hopefully, though, like, I would love to see that.
Yeah, I mean, we could look at the NBA stuff. We've been able to have our team here, but Vancouver was a tough market, and in some ways, you know, it could be that the WNBA team in Toronto could say we want red and white, because it may not be very likely that there is another team in the WNBA in Canada. So who knows? Either way, Kareem, I really appreciate you calling in, man. Is anything else you want to expound on real quick while I got you on the phone? Dunk champion?
Man, I would love to fucking spaz on a whole bunch of shit, but I don't think we have time for that. Just what are your thoughts about freaking, a Friday's game? Like, I like the way, like, I've been watching, like, other highlights of, like, different teams. Washington is fucking total garbage. They're going to be
horrible,
like, last for sure in the NBA.
Yeah.
But I'm just really, really excited to see Scotty Barnes and Emmanuel Quickly and obviously RJ Barrett. Like, I'm just like, I am like over the moon about this shit right now. Like, my hopes are up so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just think we're going to do a lot more better than what all the analytics say and stuff like that. I just think, and the term rebuild, I don't think we're rebuilding. We actually are just like, we just retooled. And like, the fact that, because I know, like, a lot of people don't agree with what Masai has done and whatever previously with, like, certain trades and stuff like that. But the way he was able to totally flip the fucking roster in just a couple of months, to me, is absolutely crazy.
Masterwork.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it really is going to be the kind of thing where I really hope that Raptors Nation can just try not to overreact so crazy this year, because in some ways there's going to be low points, trust me. But also there's going to be high points, and they could be totally unrealistic what they expect after some high points, like this game we've already played. If anybody thinks that this whole season is going to be like the first preseason game, well, I have some things I got to tell you.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, I just like, because like we thrashed Washington, and we're probably going to do it again on Friday. But I just like the collective backups that we have. Like, our bench, like, it was basically our bench who beat the shit out of Washington.
Yeah.
So like, I see that as like, it's very encouraging, and they're talking like bench mob 2.0. Like, I see that as a real thing.
Yeah.
And the Raptors 905, they're going to kick everybody's ass, and it's gonna create that pipeline, and everybody's just gonna buy in, and it's just gonna be such a whole cohesive unit between the 905 and the Raptors. Like, I'm honestly getting the 2017 vibes leading up to our championship.
See, I love that. And you know what? Listening to DeMar in interviews recently, talking about what him and Kyle built as far as the culture and as far as like the connection and the communication, this is what's so necessary for a team to get like this. And, not using the word rebuild and using the word reload. Like, we reloaded the bench mob this summer, and the second day of the draft I think that's a better moniker, is reloading the bench mob. And if that, the connection and the team camaraderie, like we're seeing, and the connection, the communication will come through. The best teams in the league are connected. The teams that are not, and they're kind of just out there earning their checks and just going through the motions, they are not the teams that are the most successful in the NBA. So that's the thing that's going to get us far, is the connection, the plan for each other, those kind of vibes. Those kind of vibes were with DeRozan and Lowry before, and they can be with the barbecue now with the new bench mob just like that again. And that's going to be the stuff that carries us right there. Kareem, man, you're awesome, bro. I appreciate you calling today, man.
Yeah, man, no worries. Hey, yeah, before I get off the phone,
sure.
I just wanted to, because like my daughter, she's like huge into like choreography, like dancing and stuff like that.
Sure.
And so when Twitch died last year, like that broke her heart. Like I know she kind of had a crush on him, but she.
Oh, the dancer from Ellen's show.
Yeah. So like, I always encourage you, and like I don't want to be weird and stuff like that, but like, I love you personally, because like I think like what you do for this channel, what you do for everybody in Toronto, and just like giving like good vibes towards Toronto. Like I love that what you are, that you do that all the time. You always remain positive. So it is important for me just to always end all the phone calls that I do take or have with everybody, and I always end it off with "I love you," just because I don't know what people are going through in their personal life or anything like that. So I love you. I love everything that you're doing, and I love everybody else on the Freak Nation. Like, you guys are all awesome. That's why I'm always on my phone, and I'm always tuned in, because I honestly appreciate everybody that's on this channel.
Kareem, I love you too, man. And I have no problem saying I love to anybody out there. And I love all the Raptor Freaks. I love everybody. And that means so much, what you just said to me. And it's true. On this day that the Raptors are talking about mental health and stuff like that, people can silently be suffering. But it's always have the courage to go talk to someone. It may not be publicly on your stream like me, like being crazy. But if you need help, you can call CAMH Helpline. There's Kids Helpline. There's so many different resources out there. Call somebody that cares about you and your family, or a friend. Like, I know now that if I'm in trouble and I'm in a bad place, I can call Kareem Thomas and he'll listen to me and be there for me. And that's what people need to know, man. Kareem, that's so important what you just said. And in some ways you're doubling down on what our GOAT DeMar DeRozan's been talking about lately, for sure.
Yeah, it's absolutely, it's very, very important, because saying I love you, it goes a long way. Whether you say it to any family members or friends or just anybody that you see on the street, trust me, it
true.
brings a smile to them, and it means like they actually feel it. It's almost like saying hi to somebody in the morning. Yeah, it's just like it kind of just gives you that jump start. You know what I mean? So
and we don't want to have any regrets and not say what we mean and feel towards someone and not get the chance. So if people are having a hard time with doing that, get over it and try and express your feelings for someone before it's too late. Too late is what I would say. Kareem, man, wow, what a great phone call to kind of end up the show for the most part. I mean, we are over time, but I still got to do the classic card and a couple other things. But man, Kareem Thomas, such an MVP in our Raptor Freak family community. And I love the love you just espoused, man, not just for the channel, for myself and for everybody else, but just for humankind and for our city of Toronto and our country of Canada and the whole entire globe, man. Man, you're awesome, man. Yeah, and rest in peace, Twitch. And I'm sad to hear about the effect that his death had on your daughter. Yeah, in some ways we don't know how some people silently suffer, like the great individual that Twitch was. Oh, man. But Kareem, I wish you all the best on this Thursday. Let's go Raptors. Let's beat the Wizards tomorrow. And thanks for your call on WNBA Colors and everything else you said just now, man.
No worries, bro, man. Everybody take care. Love all you guys. And let's fucking beat up on Washington tomorrow, man.
That's right, baby. That's right. Let's go. Yes. Awesome. What a great call to get near the end of the show with Kareem Thomas, our friend, the butt dialer. Butt dialing me is what happened. I thought it was a real wrong number at first. He's so good. I was like, wait, did I just get a real wrong number? Like, there'll be a day when we do the Thursday Think Tank, I'm sure at some point, where I will get a duct cleaning call. And they'll be like, do you need duct cleaning? So they'll be like, damn, they got me on this show finally. I'll be like, I was like, is this the day I get butt dialed for duct cleaning? I'm like, no, it's not what it is. Oh, thank God. Thank God. Oh my gosh. All right, let me see. Where am I in the chat? I want to make sure where we're at here and make sure we don't miss anything here. But man, I was so awesome to hear from Kareem today. That's very, very cool. Very, 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 very cool. Awesome. All right, let's see. Where was I? Was here. Seymour saying I bought it in Calgary. They should be all over the Ruffles chips. They're all over the country. So you got them in Calgary. And Smooth saying they don't give the CFL the type of media TSN does. That's right. Let's see. Classic card. All right, Mike's calling it out. Let's do it. Let's do the classic card. Mike wants to play the classic card. Okay, it's not so classic, guys. Just so you know. Oh wow, yeah, this guy just had a tweet yesterday that I read. All right, who is this? It may be hard to see because the color is really weird, and you can see like the way that. Hang on, let me get it so I can see the bottom of the chat. All right, let's see. Who do you guys think that is? The color's a little weird. It's a Spurs card, but the color scheme's very Timberwolves. It's very strange. So what do y'all think? Who is that? Who is the classic card? It's not very classic. It's a newer card. So it is a player that has played in recent years. Keldon Johnson, Mike? That's not right. Let me get it in closer. You can maybe tell from this. This guy's not currently playing for the Spurs, just so you know. That is a clue that'll help you on this. I saw him tweet something yesterday. I don't even know if he's on a team right now. He may not be on a team right now as we speak. So we'll have to see where he's at. But yeah, do you guys know who this classic card of the day is? It's not really a classic card because he's more recent. The full name answer is what I want here. Mike has got Keldon Johnson in there, which isn't a horrible guess, but it isn't right. It is not the right player. Let's say this guy has been on a few teams in recent years, a few teams on the East Coast, the West Coast, and in San Antonio. So he's been in a couple different places in the last 4 or 5 years. I don't know if he's on a current team right now. I think maybe one of these free agents that's just waiting around and trying to get on a team right now, because I'm not totally sure if he's on one. I'll bet you Mike will guess it and get it on the next when his time runs out on the timer. I'm gonna bet you right now, Mike is gonna figure it out and write it in when he's off the timer in the next minute. I'll bet you that's what happens. Oh, Carlo stole it though. He got it. It's Lonnie Walker the fourth. That's exactly right. Carlo JS getting the number. It is Carlo. Carlo is right. Lonnie Walker the fourth is the card today. Of course, he was on the Lakers before, and he's been on the Nets in recent time too. But I don't know if he's actually on a team right now. Let me go write this in so I don't forget. Lonnie Walker the fourth is the card, and Carlo's getting it. I'm going to give you 150 for this. Let's see. So let me write it in. I'm going to make sure I do this today, David. David was like, what? You didn't do the classic card. What are you doing? Oh, you're here. David's here. David, you want to write it in? You can write it in, David. David's going to write it in. He's actually here. He's not in the chat, but he's on the spreadsheet to write the score in. That's pretty cool. I like that. I see David in there. I'm like, oh, David is here. It's pretty cool. All right, let's see. Smooth is saying that 7-Eleven has the Ruffles chips, y'all. So go to your local 7-Eleven. You can get the Raptors 30th anniversary trips. Smooth saying the NFL will never come to Toronto. They always say that if you don't support the CFL, why should we have a team there? I mean, it's a different brand, and in some ways it would be very successful here. But I think that there's a lot of powers that want to protect the CFL, and that is what keeps the NFL out of Toronto. But yeah, it is what it is. I have no horse in this race. If the Toronto never gets an NFL team, I don't care. I actually kind of want to protect the CFL. But we don't know what Ed Rogers wants to do. And in some ways, you're intimating that he doesn't care about the Argos. Well, let's see how he handles them now that he owns them. Yeah, Seymour's saying he got the chips exactly in Calgary, Alberta at 14th Street North, 26th Avenue Southwest. Pinpoint geographic locationing. Purple bag, y'all. Look for the purple bag. Smith saying the NFL exhibition in Toronto drew flies. Garbage games charging full price. Yeah, see, they haven't had a very good time with playing Bills games at the Dome, and it hasn't been successful. I see that. Ta-da. There you go. Mike's saying, I think people forget Masai is great at taking overlooked players and making them legit. He has spots available now to build up on those great assets. Yeah. And I think Davion Mitchell is going to be the next one. That we're going to see something with Mitchell this year that's going to be like, wow, Kings, why did you get rid of him? What's wrong with y'all? And yeah, we may see that with Mitchell is what I'm expecting this year. Mike's saying he did it with RJ instantly, and now that toxic contract looks great. Yeah. Yeah, I think Mike is hitting on all cylinders there. Carlos saying, I love you too, Kareem. Haha. That's right. We love the butt dialer, Kareem. Man, what a heartfelt call. And I'm sorry I didn't recognize your voice at first. You did sound a little bit like Bradley to me for a second. So it's a little bit weird. Carlos saying, so looking at the roster now, we're over on the long arm monster and concentrating on skills and shooting. Yeah. Yeah. I think that having those kind of smaller point guards is a different kind of thing for us than we've had in recent years. And then also, yeah, having more real shooters on our team, like Grady around, there's a little bit more better shooting accuracy and dependability in this Raptors roster right now, even though it's young, is what I'll say. Mike's saying, I think Davion Mitchell will have a great season. I agree with you. Tobias saying, are you going to live stream the game tomorrow or any in the regular season? No, I don't live stream Raptors games. I do live stream Team Canada games in the summer, and I did do that over the Olympics. So if you ever want to watch me call a game, it's when Team Canada plays, I'll do that. But for Raptors games, I like to watch them without doing that. The best I can do is Tobias. If you're a member of our Facebook private group, I'm usually in the chat and maybe commenting on the game in there during the game. I will drop some observations sometimes in there. And usually there's somebody in there from the RFF that is in there talking about the game. So there's always fun to talk back and forth. Now, another place that'll be fun is going to be also the 905 games in the YouTube chat. All right, let me see. Caller, you're on the air on the Thursday Think Tank Raptor Freak channel. Who is this?
Seymour Pate in the villain.
Oh, the sheriff is back in town. City Slicker is called in once again from the great province of Alberta. Man, tell me how those chips taste right now. Like, give me a flavor evaluation here.
They're really good. If you don't like spices, then I would advise you not to try them. But yeah, they're very spicy. They're really good. I like it. I bought 2 bags this morning. I already ran through one, and it's only like $9.50 here.
Now, are you talking about like snack size bags, or are you talking about the deluxe extra big bags that you can get?
It's the snack size. I haven't seen a big one. I haven't seen a big bag yet.
Okay, so they're like the little small Ruffles bags that you just find at a convenience store, and they're purple. They're purple color.
Yeah, the Ruffles part is still blue at the top, but at the bottom there's a purple design on the bottom of the bag. Do
they have the 30th logo on it?
Yeah, it says 30th anniversary. Yeah, yep.
Very
with
cool.
The 30 with the Raptor ball and stuff. Yeah.
Very, very cool. Now, I think what I'm gonna do is I'll buy like one to eat and one to keep, and just get stale on my counter and say, that's my 30th anniversary Raptors potato chips, and they'll be like 30 years later, and I'll be like, yeah, I never ate them. You know. All
right.
Yeah.
I got a full.
Oh, you're at work, man. Listen, don't get in trouble, Seymour. I know you're driving around on forklifts and stuff while you're eating your chips and listening to the Raptor Freak channel. But yeah, are you good? You have to go, man.
I can talk still. I'm just a devoted fan, man. Just love the team, very passionate for the team. You know.
You're a real one. No, I know. Anybody who's watching me dedicated like this, you're like me. We're birds of a feather, and you're flocking together with me, and that I appreciate that. Just like what Kareem said, man. I really, really have found a lot of fun and like friendship and love in the RFF, the Raptor Freak family. And man, Seymour, you're a big part of it, holding it down in Calgary. And I appreciate all the moderating you do for me also with the wrench, man. Yeah.
Great question.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to win Rookie of the Year this year?
You know, a lot of people are saying Reed Shepherd.
You think Edie has a shot?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. And I think that part of it is the connection between him and Ja Morant is very strong already. And there's going to be some very interesting play between Morant and Edie this season in Memphis. So
because the 1-2 battle I'm looking forward to is the Chris Paul Wembanyama, Wemby, and Ja Morant matchup.
Ooh.
Really exciting basketball.
Ooh, hit the John Tesh music. When, you know, I want to see that on NBA on NBC. Anyway, sorry. No, I think that's a great matchup.
I'm gonna have to let
let y'all go because I'm doing some dangerous materials here.
Okay, yeah. Don't be doing dangerous materials and calling into my show, Seymour. Come on now. All right, Seymour. Go ahead. All right, we love you, Seymour, and I hope you are safe and you're okay. All right, write in the comments that you're okay afterwards, please. Okay. All right. Thanks. All right, let's go. Awesome, man. We get one more call in from the sheriff, Seymour Pape, City Slicker, holding it down in Calgary in the warehouse, eating his snack size 30th anniversary spicy Raptors ruffles. Now, he said they're very spicy. So if you don't like spice, you might not like this. So Siakam's not going to like these chips, is what I'm hearing, is what's going on here. So good. G saying light blue, yellow, or gold, and black. I like the idea of light blue, completely different than the Raptors. So like a light blue, kind of like what the Nuggets use sometimes, not the teal blue like the Hornets, more like that light blue that sometimes is showing up. Like the Lakers have used the light blue in an alternate jersey sometimes. I'm thinking about that light blue with yellow, yeah, and with black. I don't think that's anything like any of the palettes I see here. For the existing WNBA teams. Oh, wait a second. The Sky kind of have that color scheme because they're a light blue with a yellow and a black, the Chicago Sky. So that may be too similar to the Skies team, G, unfortunately. Kareem is awesome. So is Seymour, man. Seymour's hilarious too, man. Seymour, man, don't be trying to call me while you're handling hazardous materials with the forklift. Oh my gosh, this channel's off the chain, man. Trevor's saying 2 more nights, then back home I can watch the live Raptors game on TV. There you go, Trevor J. That's right. I'm all about it. All right, I should wrap up. I'm at 2.5 hours, guys. We are talking colors for the WNBA team today, and we've had some great discussions, great ideas espoused here. And I hope that Teresa Resch and her company can get some good information from us about all this. I appreciate y'all for watching me today. We did the classic card. Thank God. I remember to do it. Yeah, tomorrow I'll have the preview for the next game against the Wizards. Tomorrow I'll have the refs. We'll have the latest lineup news, some keys to the victory, talking about different stuff that's going on in the Raptors world and the WNBA Toronto team's world. Yeah, you know where it's at. It's the Raptors Freak channel every morning, 9:30 a.m. live, baby, talking all the daily Raptors stuff. You will find out what you need to know about the Raptors every single day right here, and more that they'll tell you on the mainstream media, that's for sure. Like some of the stuff I'm observing and seeing. And Monique and Trevor, thank you for looking for stuff too. Isaac Campbell, always on that Scotty Barnes Twitch watch. Yes, I appreciate everybody and what they do in the Raptor Freak family. And that's right, share the love, just like what Kareem said. And seriously, reach out. If there's somebody you hadn't talked to in a while, go ahead and reach out to them. Don't wait for them to call you. Do it. Just call them. It's not a game. You don't have to play some sort of weird game. And if there's somebody you miss and somebody that you used to be your friend that you used to interact with a lot, you can still get that back. You just got to go and revisit it, and you will get that back. Trust me. All right, y'all. What a great Thursday think tank. I love all the calls today. Very animated and fun calls. We found out that we have a Ruffles bag out there. That is so cool. I'm pretty sure I talked about everything I wanted to talk about today. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, that I did that, and I did that too. Very, very good. Very, very good. All right, there we go. Good stuff. All right, y'all have a great Thursday, and we'll be back tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Let's go Raptors. Let's go Toronto WNBA team to be named at another date. That's right. Seymour's okay, guys. He handled the hazardous materials, and everything is gravy. It's good. Yeah. Y'all get out there and get your 30th anniversary ruffles, Raptors ruffles. That sounds awesome to me. I'm going to go look. Seriously, I'm going to go around the corner to the 7-Eleven or somewhere to try and find them. They may not have them out here in the boonies where I'm at, though. I'll have to go see. But, yeah, get your ruffles, y'all. Y'all have a great day. Let's go, Teresa, and help us find out what our name is for our WNBA team and our color scheme. I'm all excited about it. Thanks for being so open with your process. It's been fascinating and very fun to see each stage of the whole process of building a WNBA team. Let's go Toronto. Let's go Canada. Let's go Raptors. And let's go Raptor Freak family. I love y'all. Let's go and touch grass next outside because the weather looks pretty nice right now, actually. Let's go!